up, misfits, one and all, to tonight's episode of Call Me Skeptical. Can a prophet exist? Dun, dun, dun. That's right, where we are opening up the phone lines to ask that very same question of, can a prophet exist in this physical world? So won't you join James W., who's coming up from hell, along with Gilbert. We kind of share timeshares. And myself, Amy Newman, for a good, profiting all over the place good time. Woohoo! What is up, all of you out there on the interwebs? Tonight's Call Me Skeptical is... Can prophets exist? That's right. Except for prophets profiting, we are trying to figure out if there are middlemen for God, and very shortly we will be sending out the link into the chatosphere on all of the interwebby platforms. I also have a little... We also have a little cat coming and saying hi, who thinks she's a very big cat. And what is up, everyone, as well out there on the intertubes? I want to thank you all for joining us. If you like the show, then that makes me happy. I like that you like it. You are amazing. But also, you know, the button with the like thing, it sends it out into the algorithms. It used to matter. Well, it does matter if you hit the downvote, but now they hide it sometimes. But oh, silly. Anyway, we could also follow on Twitch. The Twitch just hit 100. Woo! Need to do more gaming stuff over there. I got things in the works. Maybe some 3D modeling as well, and some crafting. I also wonder if scam baiting does well over on Twitch. We'll find out. All in the works. Sending to the Twitch at twitch.. Spider Cat. Spider Cat does whatever a Spider Cat does. Will she jump? Yes, she will. And at twitch.tv/Amy Newman Skeptic. That's right. As well as all of our fabulous YouTube subscribers at youtube.com/Amy Newman. No matter where you are, though, we will be getting the link out to you. If you like this kind of content, it helps if you share as well with the not only family or friend, but person you're in a debate with. It's kind of the debate community. That's what we do. And it's like the racket back and forth. Although when it comes to religion, it's, you know, they can't all be right, but they all can be. Anyway, when you hit that bell icon from subscribing, you get to see reminders to join our premieres or join our live streams. And then I get to say hi and talk with you. Like, what is up, Khaleesi? What is up? I can't even say with a straight face. What is up, Big Bad Mama? What is up, praise I am that I am? James and I need to go on praises and standing for truths, and the Dawa-S channels seem to be shrinking. Cat went in, cat went out. All right. Who wants in, who wants out? There we go. We have a lot of traffic in here with 3 kits and a dog that thinks they're a kit. I still have the littlest one prowling. And as well as all those fantastic. What is up, Pat? That's right. When you're running on AV time, somehow everyone else is always early. We are having fun in the sun. We're about to be talking to maybe people that disagree with us. What's up, Peebo? The answer is, she sits right on the keyboard. You can sit anywhere. You want to sit right there? Okay. And Michael Smith and Space Potato. Prophet Space Potato at your service. Sent a Michael asked if he's seen a meme clip that I sent 2 days playing tennis, but one is words of facts, logic, reason, truth. Yes, it does seem like that is. It's like we gotta hit the wall. Come on. I'm not like, but it's 6,000 years old. It says so. A book said a thing. Take my word for it. What is up, davegar? Woo-hoo. Thank you so very much, Khaleesi. All of the support helps. And that's right. All of the cool people are on both. And we're going to keep on moving down. I love her, like her little Murs. I can't help it. She's so freaking cute. And I feel like there hasn't been enough cats on the internet. Definitely something that needs to happen more often. I feel like she's Scoopa-doopa. I'll go to shout-outs, I swear. There, I just have to give, yes, as much attention to her. She didn't even seem to mind. She kept on just cleaning. And all right, we could probably keep on showing as many cat pictures as the internet deserves. And oh boy, does the internet deserve many. But you can keep on saying hi to us. You can tag us at James W. or Amy Newman. Once the heat of the action is going, it helps to send in super chats. They support the channel, and we'll try to stop the show or generally ask the person that it's directed in, or maybe show off some props. I don't know why a dinosaur would make this sound. When you have chicken nuggets, you're having dinosaur. And so when you're having dinosaur chicken nuggets, you're technically having dinosaur chicken nuggets. It's kind of, you're having realistic, historically accurate, except it's fried into your arteries. Sending love, that triggers them. The fact that birds are dinosaurs and common ancestry to anything. Do you think we're related to amoeba? Do you think you're related to insert whatever animal or organism that I think is below me? Yes. Once again, I watch humans walk into objects all day long, but we are indeed the smartest, greatest species. We went to the moon. It's right there. Moon's right there. Anyway, tag us, James W., myself, Amy Newman. However, we are a skeptic channel, including the schmucks that you see before you. However, Call Me Skeptical is specifically looking for views that don't agree with our own, because it's kind of boring to be in an echo chamber. Though as much as we do like, helping each other get off as much. Whew, do we like telling each other how much the collab sucks. And did you know that Pascal's wager is actually a shitty argument? Really is. Oh no, Watchmaker. That's definitely great. Anyway, we kind of enjoy it when you tell us we're wrong. So if you fit the bill, then the link to join is going to be in like a minute. I'll send it while I'm doing shout outs and stuff. See if I can rile up some young Earth creation. In fact, is it Facade? Is that you? There may be someone cutting the lawn. That may be happening. I apologize. But, so if you fit the bill to link to join the show, we'll head on the channel screen. We also love people who do agree with us, atheists, skeptics, and science-minded people. You know, rational people who accept evidence. God, it's getting closer. I see them. Oh God, you can see it. It's just coming out. Oh God, water. I don't know if we can fight them off. I'm not sure if this gun is even loaded. It feels loaded. I don't know if we'll be able to take them. Anyway, if you think the world is 6,000 years old, that evolution is a hoax, or that the world is flat, well then, OG Willingers, you should speak to us right away. So it sounds like I'm just cutting, but I think it's water, now that I'm noticing. Anyway, that evolution's hoax, world is flat, any of those, come on by. And so, as I give shout-outs, I'm just going to send this link into chat. And then we're going to start doing some shout-outs while I queue that up. You will also get direct priority if you disagree with us. That tends to be our shtick, and so if you do agree with us, don't mind sticking around with us for a little while. However, while we have that queued up and I'll pin it and everything, do. We are going to start and by reminding everyone that there are many ways that you can send us love. You can send in super chats and we will read them out, interact with them, have some fun. You can also become a Twitch subscriber, once again, on our twitch.tv/Amy Newman Skeptic, and get some flair, as well as our channel membership with our evolving badge system right down below. Boom, boom, boop, the join button, which gains you access to trigger creationists because they say that nothing evolves, and then we just have this thing right there that's evolving. What is up, Pat? What is up, everybody? KCA and Stilette, and Rubiks is backstage. What's up? I'm going to see if we can net us some creationists. And then if I get through the shout-outs without us trying to pry any young flat or triangle-shaped earthers, pizza-shaped, I assume, then we're going to get people that just agree with us and are sane and rational and speak a whole bunch of sense. And so the number one way to help support the channel oh man, it's just timing. Sending love. Is it too much of a buzz out there? Is it as loud as I think it is? What is up, Aaron? What is up, Coalson? Boom, boom, boom. What kind of favorite music do I listen to? I like rock, but it's hard to kind of pick out a favorite band. And I am one of those that will listen to anything. I will listen to rock, to rap. You can win me over on country. You can anything that just sounds good. I also like singing, for better or for worse. I am a karaoke girl. Karaoke streams I've just seen on YouTube have not done terribly popular. Like, they're fun to me. I will do them. But I don't see many people who join them themselves. I don't know if any of you like karaoke out there, and you tell me. The karaoke and apologetics. May also try. You know, the person out there is doing a good job. I just feel all about timing. Been listening to an engine run on the tractor for the last 2 hours, so it doesn't faze me out because it's loud but not terrible. Says Judith. It just sucked because of all the timing. Oh, goodness. Gonna keep on going because I want to get people on, and I'll try and just keep on doing shout outs so that hopefully by the time that we have calls, the buzzing has stopped. I feel like asking them. She's gonna be okay. Huh? Coming to an end? Sounds like it's coming to an end. Maybe they're moving. Okay, including our awesome Patreons. One of the best ways to help us is by heading over to Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. It is the best way. I think we're going to be changing it up a lot because focused on what people have actually been subscribing for, kind of narrowing things down and trying to. We may end up having a supporter stream that is just for everybody. And I may just end up having to do like some sort of just Patreon only streams because I want to try and grow that. And that really is, I think, one of the best ways because you make good ad revenue. And thank you to TOS YouTubes. Thank you, for what it is. But it's not until I think you start getting into like the 10K higher, the ad revenue really becomes like the gravitas over everything else. So Patreon. Anyway, enough about our shilling. Let's give out to the shout outs to the people who kind of shill for us because they are amazing. The one and the only. We saw him out there. We're giving love to davegar because davegar helps remind us that we, in fact, have a round earth. The young earthers get insulted when we try to bunch them in. Though, I mean, it is also a PSA that a 6,000-year-old earth is just as silly as a flat earth. It is off by a number of 99%. It is the difference between 6,000 and 4.50000000. So if you get 99% wrong on a test, and you're like, but I spelled my name correctly. I mean, I guess. Cool. Anyway, sending love to So much love. The round, the earth is round. The round is earth as well, I guess. It's that thick earth. Sending love to the one and only, the amazing Rachel Holen! Reminding us that biblical slavery is kind of like really. They try and sell it as a works program. Oh, it was great back then. There was slavery over here. There was slavery over here. But the biblical slavery, it was basically the Marriott. You know, you're working for me while I'm at the Marriott. But, like, who's counting? Thank you so very much, Shani. Sending so much love to you. And that is the lovely thing about building a community, is that you feel like you earn each subscriber. Sending, shout outs to any YouTube official channels out there that may have gotten caught buying subscribers, and any acolytes that may still do. It doesn't work. It looks pretty, but it's like getting a cardboard car. Like, it could say BMW spray painted like on the side. Doesn't really work. You need actual people. So sending love to all of you. The real winners. Winners. I always hate when you're in a debate and people start talking about winning and losing. Like, I get it. Like, on some official debates, there are real winners and losers, or if you take a vote or whatever. But it just always feels like, take your lose, man. Take your L and walk away. I'm sorry, sis. This is a bakery. Just put your card in. Anyway, sending so much love to Rachel Holen. Sending love to Senator Cato, reminding us of the separation of church and state is really great, because your denomination will not be in control, and then you're going to be irate. Tip your waitress for each dad joke. Anyway, thank you so much, Senator Cato, because we kind of like having our own religion or non-religion. And sending love to Dale Pastel. Dale reminds us that we are looking for a little bit of empirical evidence. Doesn't have to be a lot of empirical evidence, but a little bit would be nice. I always start to get really pissy on people like Randolph Stream, and they always come in. And this is how I imagine. I'm sure it's not every one of them, but what evidence would you even accept anyway? If I'm just asking. Oh, well, we would like empirical testable. Oh, empirical testable? Why are we even talking right now? Why are you even having this stream at all? The all-powerful God can't do that. Oh, that's really weird. The omni. Of course. But they don't be tested by you. They don't have the time, okay? Who has the time anyway? They're timeless, but that doesn't. Not time full, okay? Okay, whatever. Sure. Sending love, Dale. We'll get evidence one day. Sending love. Win, take your W and walk away, I guess. Win. Sending love, Dale. Sending love to James Wolfe. It's almost becoming nighttime. That is like a rarity for us. That's a secular rarity, who is amazing. You should go check their channel out. Speaking of channels, you go check Mark Reid's channel. It's been blowing up. I am so proud of Mark. I feel like Okay. It is a proper analogy, okay? I am a, and I'll get there in a second because I don't think that Mark is coming out. But I am a grandma trans person, okay? And what I mean a grandma trans person is I have long enough that I have not only transitioned myself, but I have helped people transition. And then I have gone on to see those people help other people in the LGBTQ people. And so I could just sit there sipping cocoa and being like, oh, whew, look at all of these people that I feel like, because, and there was, of course, other people who helped me. It's a chain. That's what I'm trying to say. I can sit there as a grandma. And so just like that, there are numerous amazing content creators. Atheist Jr., Mark Reid, Bree has been here for a little while, but she's just amazing. You should go check out Bree's chat. There's just numerous content creators. I feel like sunlight and water has been poured on from all of our cross-pollination, and it just feels like we're starting to reach out and help each other and make great content. And oh my, and I see an amazing $2 super chat from the Sinister Porpoise, the porpoise you want to think of when they're being sinister. And she would like to remind. now the person's messing with the cat. Now they're messing with them. They don't know we're streaming. I almost want to. I'm trying to debate how much I want to even tease them that they're doing this. I would just say, ladies and gentlemen, that it's always great to have the help. Let me just say it. Fantastic. Rachel and I will keep on recommending it to any lifestyle. Anyway, the Sinister Porpoise for $2. Set will remind you all to trans it forward, Amy. That's right. I should have it here because I'm queer. But that sounds gay. I'm in. Okay. Thank you so very much, Sinister. I think I'm going to get James in, and then we're going to keep on just doing shout-outs. And then if no one joins, like I said, then Rubiks is going to be our first guest. I'll keep on sending the StreamYard link out for theists that are interested, especially the Abrahamic variety. Well, if you think prophets are real. But what's up, James? Prophets make profits. It's the theme of tonight.
How's everybody doing this Saturday early evening? Early evening for a change, huh?
I know we actually made it on before midnight.
Go figure. Strange things happening, you know. Did you get all your shout outs done? Where are we at? Newman?
So we'll keep on going down. We just said love to James and Dale and Rachel and Senator and Davegar and the lovely Chris Disciple, reminding us that
Chris.
Skeptics can be atheists, theists, Christian, agnostic, whatever you identify as, pagan. We're sending love. You have a family and a home here at the Skeptic and Ranting community. And then we have 3 commanders of the girl deck, the people who go way above and beyond. You can also become lieutenant of the girl deck by being 2 out of 3 of any of our supporter tiers, and you will be first listed in the description below. But the vocal
As a
commanders.
lieutenant, you'll get your official sword and everything.
Yes, exactly.
We'll have a naval ceremony.
Very specifically, you have to hold it from here.
Well, remember I used to do the whole thing like when someone wants to be a mod, like the King or Queen of England, you'd have to knight them with a 15-foot whale penis. Tap it on their shoulders. There you go.
The sword or...
No.
Okay, just checking. Some people are into that. You never know. Goes here, goes there. What are we talking about? Sending love. The 3 commanders of the girl deck. We are sending love to Deig. Because
Deig.
he reminds us that when we
first, second,
are...
and third lieutenant.
Well, we look for theories. And if you use the phrase, it's just a theory, you should probably just take a science class. It'll help, because then you'll learn that an educated guess is a hypothesis. Like, if I jump this car at this velocity, I'm pretty sure I can jump this bridge. That's a hypothesis. A theory is when you go test that and bring back some data and have a framework for why the car didn't make it.
You try it about 35, 40 times, and then we look at the wreckage.
Yes, and then peer review it, and you go back and forth, and then someone else does it, and they try and do it, and then this amazing little process we call science.
And
They're
if you just started looking into something 4 days ago, you're probably not an expert. You're probably Captain
probably
Dunning-Kruger.
takes slightly longer.
You're Captain Dunning-Kruger, Studio Dunning-Kruger official.
Indeed. And what is up, Christ brings the sword? Always lovely to have creationists and theists with us, especially since you should join us.
He's got a sword too.
That's right. I have a very infinitely sized sword, if you know what I mean.
She's very handy with it.
And I also
want to see the videos that they posted on Discord.
I also want to recommend that no one work with blades unless you have a lot of training. This type of weaponry is just, it's very easy to start. Oh my God! Oh God! Okay. I only could last for about 20 seconds, which, you know, who can do much longer?
To be fair, Gavin and Iron, they've gotten lots of practice down there, so they're pretty good at it.
They do. They have lots of time filling their mouths with swords.
Like the preacher. 18 hours a day.
Indeed. They are privates of the girl deck. They take orders, if you know what I mean. Also, doesn't care what you believe. I just like pointing to my tits. Anyway, sending love, Deig. Sending love to... Regos, reminding us that we have a skeptic Bible study. Hey, James.
Thanks for
I know that none of us are biologists, but do you think that snakes can speak, I don't know, English, Aramaic, Hebrew? Pick an English language.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with no. I've never heard them make any noise other than like a s. That's kind of like their one-trick pony.
Yeah, indeed. But that's kind of close. And look, I love snakes. My niece has a snake who basically it's just her and me that think that they're adorable. And I guess Bree from Hive Science. But something tells me that they are not writing sonnets. Just something.
Isn't Mark Reid a biologist? He was talking to one the other day. He was talking to Ken Hoven the other day.
That's true.
He's He's a bio. Isn't he? He's a
He's a computer scientist. He'll say communications. I do believe he means network communications.
I was talking about Kent.
Oh, Kent definitely has a. I don't even want to say basket weaving anymore, because once again, basket weaving asserts that there was someone actually having a skill set and using their hands. And so I would say the University of Basement, they've been taking many a presuppositionalist, a young earther.
Bullshit shoveling.
Exactly. Whatever you're into. What's up, Tsunami? I prefer skinks.
I have a PhD in whale penisology.
I'm pretty sure that is what his thesis was on. Was how big is the whale?
Pretty 647 pages of detail.
Basically.
Including multiple up-close photographs, live-action videos.
Yeah. And
whale erotica.
It is just weird. The more anti-LGBTQ the channel is, sometimes the more homoerotic it is. I don't know why. Well, we all know why it is, but
just imagine, like, on his channel, he's got pictures of, like, he'll have like a killer whale, an orca, a male orca, like floating on his back with his penis exposed. It's like whale erotica. It's like.
But very specifically, it looks like that tuna fish with the glasses that speaks with the Jew. Oh, you like this? Oh, you should see what I could do for you later. That's what I imagine. Is what Cat's listening to. What's up off the chain?
I don't know about this evolution thing, but this particular whale could be part of the bear kind, if you know what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Nice and big and bulky, the bear kind.
Might be able to wrap you up and make you run up trees. Yeah, yes, those kinds. Exactly. Last but not least, this channel supports bears. Whether you're very furry or a carnivora. Anyway, sending love to Ian, Regos, Matt Deig. Ian. Yes, Ian. Sending love to Ian. Our last, but certainly not least.
Thanks, Ian.
We're sending love to Ian, who reminds us I need to organize my props. That is what you're right. That I don't think watchmaker arguments are very rational. We don't think. James, do you like watchmaker arguments?
I mean, I guess they're not the worst thing creationists argue, but they're not. I wouldn't say it's top tier creationist bullshit.
Yeah, it's basically nonsense. It's a little better, but look at the trees, but not better. Not that much better.
Not much better. Yeah. No.
But okay,
not like reading a quote from Stephen Hawking multiple times.
Once again, and I made that deal with the devil, even though he had already said, and he still wouldn't answer the question. I think he eventually did after I pulled a tooth or two. I feel like on the third tooth, I eventually got a yes or no. But, like, what annoys me, and look, I'm not saying they're bad guy, but, like, you will listen to, like, an atheist or a pagan or someone who doesn't agree with their theology of a presuppositionalist, and you will answer a dozen questions. And they won't even, like, accept half of them. You'll say, like, I don't know. And once again, anyone who accepts I don't know as an answer means that they're fishing for something. It's a gotcha or a something. Yes. And so sending so much love. Pulling a tooth.
Because most of their questions they're gotcha type questions where they think they're going to make something out of it.
Well,
or they're going to try and stump you, ask you something highly technical that they know that you're not going to know. So
and that was also my recent thing with Bubble. Bubble asserted, he said, well, what was the exact name
of the intermediary species
And if you don't know that, in or out, he scratches door and then he runs away. And then
You're not a
if
biologist. You don't study this on a daily basis.
Well, the answer I gave was I don't know, but they consider I don't know a woo. But then it just took 2 minutes of Google searching to actually find
species.
a Canis lampus and a multitude.
Then there is no species.
Yes, and so,
well,
yeah.
I mean, they get stuck into these like species categories. I mean, species. The line gets blurry. It's not always where do you draw the line, you know? Because.
But if you just, this is the other question that you don't get to question them. I want to just be like, you look at a dog and you look at a wolf. Like, it's just like the same thing that when we look at orangutans and they're like, I don't see any resemblance. It's like, well, we know from looking genetically how similar we are. We know from doing bone comparison how similar we are. And I feel like the amount of mental gymnastics that you have to do to say that a dog and wolf is not related, to say that we're not apes.
Only Bubble says that, really.
Yes, well, only Bubble, that's his thing. But yes, I do want to say, so thank you. I want to say well, actually, do it. I'm going to be right back. And then we're going to bring in Rubiks. And I will say also, Off the Chain Atheist, the StreamYard link should be into chat.
Rubiks is here, so you must have sent it.
Yes. And I'm also going to send it to all of the Discord servers that, you know, may have a disagreement with us. Who knows? But I'll be right back, and we're going into calls whether or not when I get back. But yeah, James, I mean, we're talking about profits. This seems like I said, you know, sometimes it's my pet peeve, but it's your pet peeve as much too. I feel like you go even another layer. I mean, this whole notion of middlemen with God, people can just talk one-on-one with God, but only us. The link is broken.
Well, I mean, it's just, it invites fraud, because even if there's a deity, let's just say there is, and he says he wants you to have faith in him, but if he communicates through prophets, then who do you actually need to have? You need to have faith in the prophet. You get that faith that this prophet is actually getting these super secret messages from this deity, and that we can rely on these messages. I mean, why is that the case? Why couldn't God just communicate directly with people? Why would he have to go through these middlemen? And I never really got a satisfactory answer from anybody. I mean, the one I got from a Muslim one time was, well, I mean, could you look straight up at the sun and take all its splendor in? I mean, no, I can't. But I mean, if there was a God and he wanted me to look at the sun, then he could certainly allow me to do that. If there was a God, then he could certainly allow me to interact with him in a way that wouldn't be harmful for me. And, you know, I've seen no evidence that any of these prophets are really anything special. They all seem to have their faults and their vices, just like everybody else. They're certainly not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So what's going on here? I mean, the most reasonable, the most common sense thing is that, we're just dealing with people, and these gods aren't real. But if there was a God, he would not need to use middlemen, intermediaries. He could communicate with us directly. We wouldn't have to trust other people. And we haven't seen any claimed prophet, at least in the modern era, who has been able to correctly prophesy things. Even one or because if you're a true prophet, then you would get it right 100% of the time. You wouldn't have any margin for error. but we don't even see that. We don't even see them getting one thing right usually. Seventh-day Adventist Church has their Ellen White. Well, I mean, she made numerous false prophecies, but they still follow a lot of her teachings. Same with Joseph Smith, but the Mormon Church still follows a lot of his teachings. Why? I look, the Bible itself is full of false prophecy. If something is apparently not fulfilled, they'll just tell you, oh, well, it will be fulfilled. Well, once you actually look at a lot of the details on that, its track record is not very good, let's just say. A lot of these people, well, especially in the early church, thought that all these prophecies were going to take place in their lifetime. And that's clear from different passages of the New Testament and from what we know of the early church. In fact, Christians of all time have always thought that they were in the last days. They've all looked at the Bible verses and they've all been able to draw the parallels, and they've always thought that it was the end days. No surprise Christians think the same today. Whatever is left of them 100 years from now will probably think the same thing then. And there doesn't really seem to be much in terms of like transfer of knowledge from one generation to the next. They just all start with the Bible, and they just go around in circles because it doesn't really go anywhere. You really literally can just go around in circles. It's why these doctrinal fights and these battles between the denominations, they never get settled. I mean, one might dominate another for a while, but they never really get settled because the verses are still there for both sides. Like, follow the Protestantism versus Catholicism, Orthodox. You can follow that circus and go around in circles ad infinitum. You never really get anywhere. Neither side really has this killer knockout blow, because the scriptures are all over the place. This is what happens when you have men leading you, fallible, mortal, imperfect men. A deity wouldn't need to use men. He could just do it himself. And we're told, oh, don't worry, he will do that one day. Well, one day? Yeah. Jesus will come down and he'll rule the whole world, and we'll all get to interact with him and see him directly and all that. Okay. Well, I don't buy it. I don't think we have a good reason to expect that. But anyway, welcome back, Amy.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we are going to go into the calls. I see Rubiks, Thomas, and Wilbur. Wilbur's saying not beyond Brahmin, so maybe he does agree with this. So maybe we'll just go in order. Because we're trying to get people for profits, we give priority to people who disagree with us. So the more you disagree, generally the more priority we get. But I guess we're just going to go down the line and find out. We are calling us skeptical.
Let's do it.
And if you are a young earth, a flat earth, any version of a theist that actually believes in prophets, we will put you ahead of the line. You will get priority. So come and join us. But Rubiks has been waiting a while, and so we are going to bring them on. We are calling us skeptical.
Hello.
What's up, Rubiks?
Hey, Rubiks.
Lovely to
Good
have
see
you
ya.
on. We are calling us skeptical on can a prophet exist? And what are your thoughts?
So it depends on what definition you go off of. If you go off the definition they believe it comes from a god, yes. Doesn't mean it came from a god, but if they think it came from a god and they're giving their opinion on something, they could be considered a prophet.
Okay, so you're trying to say that there could be a usage of prophet as in because they call themselves a prophet, they are, or
Yeah, if
they
they
are
believe it came from a
acting as-
god, whether or not it's true or not, they could be considered a prophet by that definition.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would just disagree in that, well, not with what you said, but I would say, I would say that we are looking for the literal prophets, and
Fair.
that's not what you're saying is. So I could even grant that, there was probably someone named Muhammad who people considered a prophet, and there are many people who believe him to be a prophet, and I'm fine with that. I just wish there would be better evidence for these middlemen actually talking with a god.
Agreed.
Actually having a connection to a deity.
Agreed.
Okay.
That's really my 2 cents. Like, technically, based on what definition you're using, you could argue that it exists, but not coming from a god. And often, like, kind of like cold readers are very good at pattern recognition and such too.
Well, and I agree. It always gets into the complicated.
Bullshit artists, in other words.
Sometimes,
Yes.
yeah. Sometimes you have to be specific with language because it's like, well, the Bible exists. It's a whole, when you say you can't say your holy text doesn't exist because they can hold it up. And so what you have to start parsing it out into, what is it doing in the physical reality? Is it an actual holy text? It's not really holy. It doesn't have any sacredness to it, but we can say this is their holy text. This is their prophet. So the language and labels are useful for conversation. Like, when someone says, don't insult my prophet, you know who they're speaking of if you can tie it with a religion. And it always just goes back to, I guess, as non-believers, we just don't think they're prophets.
Yeah.
Or if they say, don't draw a picture of my prophet.
That's a whole nother story.
Indeed. We should do an episode on that.
He's camera shy. Well, even before there were cameras.
Yes.
I wonder, I feel bad. I saw Wilbur back off. Wilbur, if you want, we'll also give you semi-priority because I feel like you disagree with us, because this is what sometimes happens with theists. We've found also the more skeptic. Now, this is maybe a pot shot just out there, but we found the more skeptic you are, the longer you'll wait. But James, isn't that semi-true? Hasn't that been just been our experience?
I mean, yeah. They'll sit here and they'll wait for hours sometimes. The fundamentalists, they'll come on. If they're not on within 5 or 10 minutes, they're gone.
They are. This God, he's timeless, but he's also almost out of time. It's gotta. But Rubiks, we have been calling us skeptical. Can a prophet exist? Is there anything else that you would like to talk about?
No, not really. Yeah. Not on topic.
That's okay. You are lovely as always. It was great having you here.
Thanks so much, Rubiks.
And I see your point. And to make a gesture that James has no idea what I'm talking about, I see you.
Yes, my cat's causing chaos. I apologize. That's what the crash was.
Not at all. I can appreciate it.
It's their job. I mean, what else are they supposed to do?
I can see if I can get him to come on. Yes,
you should.
Thing. I will give you the cat tax. Oh, he ran away. I mean, never mind.
People might remember we've had people come on our show claiming to be a prophet, prophesying doom, and yeah.
and gloom. It's never doom and happiness. Yeah.
Profits profit off of
always.
something.
It's the theme of the show. Profits profit.
Yeah. Or they're just looking for attention, or they're severely mentally ill, one of the two.
That's my ex. He called me to tell me he's God at one point.
I feel like that's just such an easy test. I am God. Lift this soda bottle from like 10 feet away. Listen, I am God with limits. Oh, okay.
Was he serious, or was he just fucking with you?
But he was absolutely convinced that he's God. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Schizophrenia.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
Yeah. There you go. And,
but we're sending so much love. Actually, before I let you have a final word, I just want to say, what is up, Kelleth? 1989. Hello. I think profits are just false delusions.
That's my argument.
Sure. I mean, I think
Titan getting spicy out there.
Welcome. And yeah, I just think they are either they have delusions or they are pushing delusions. And that's the two spicy ways. I don't know. I was about to say that's the nice way, but then I realized that might be the spicier way. Is Titan again? Oh, sending love, Titan out there.
Hey, Titan.
Dun, 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 dun.
But that's really all I have to say.
I was going to say Theos versus the TOS. Sending so much love, chat. We love you. We love everyone out there. And okay, Rubiks, if I will, if you would like, though, is there any final thing, or is that I'm going to give you one last mic?
Any comment you want to throw out
We
there.
have been calling us skeptical on can a profit exist, and what is your final word?
That's it.
Thank you so very much, Rubiks. It was lovely having you on, and keep on coming on.
Yes, hopefully I can bring my cat on one of these days. He's hiding.
I want you to know that now that you said it, I will hold you to a cat tax. You don't have to pay it now. You can pay it later.
Yes, I can.
But you do owe us a cat.
I try to get him on, but and all my furniture is black, and he's solid black, so he blends in with everything.
So he has natural camouflage. It's like moonlight. I can't see him sometimes because he'll sit on like a chair that is black. Yes, or something like that, exactly. And he uses that to his advantage, though. He has specific spots that he can hide away from some of the other, maybe another cat. He loves Buttercup, but yes, Buttercup will sometimes run by.
Sometimes he needs a break.
Oh, definitely. He likes it. He has always wanted a playmate, and he's always wanted someone to play. But now he's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like you get the thing that you want, and then you're like, oh my God, where is the off button? Because this little thing is so funny to watch this little thing full body tackle something that is much bigger.
Twice their size,
Exactly. But Rubiks, thank you so very much for coming on. We are about to keep on going down the line.
I'll post a picture in Discord of my cat. So
all right.
Cat tax.
That'll do.
That's the PG version of Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the Troll Toll, which we want to stay to the TOS. Thank you so very much, Rubiks. Lovely to have you on as always, and keep on coming on.
Yep.
All right, we're about to get Thomas Bear, OTC Atheist, on, but we're going to keep on shilling for people who disagree with us. We will give you time. We will not give you money, but I'm just going to say energy and time again, as if, because that's a really good commodity. So get your butt on right there. Also, sending love to Rubiks, who is a fantastic human being, who is a big supporter, who is funny. I love seeing them and Beamsy interact and chat. And I love our community here. Send love to
Absolutely.
Khaleesi and Tsunami and Goth and Mr. Crean. What do we get? Oh, I feel bad. Damn. I just now see your thing. Well, I'll read it now, and then they can answer it in chat, maybe. Ask Rubiks, do you believe the mad poets and mystics are not capable of having or delivering insight cause of the crazy? And I can answer this a little bit. I think the majority of atheists, I think the majority of artists are weird. I think that they have a little bit going on. I have not found a comedian. Oh, Rubiks came back on. I'll bring Rubiks in while I'm giving my answer, and I'll let Rubiks say, I have not found a comedian who has been all right there or hasn't had some shit. And sometimes it's how we deal with it, and it's what makes it go out there. However, there's a difference between that and I would say something like clinical schizophrenia, like one of my relatives. I feel bad. Not that like she's 80 years old. It would be so amazing to imagine her watching this podcast. But, you know, she ran for president in the 90s and left her husband, and she writes personally. She starts things like Dear Obama, and she'll write to them personally, and she thought that multiple presidents were after her, and she's fled the country multiple times, and she's gotten deported from Canada. Like, who gets deported from Canada? That's fucking That's a South Park episode. Whatever. And she's wheelchair bound, and she is Carmen Sandiego at the same time, because she legitimately thinks that the presidents are and different CIA and organizations are out to get her. But Rubiks, we brought you back, and before we get Thomas in here, what do you have to say about the subject?
So I do think they can bring insight. I have mental illness myself. And I don't think having that mental illness precludes you from having insight on things. But if you ascribe what you're experiencing and what you're saying to a deity, that is delusional, even if it is a good point.
Absolutely. Just to backwards compliment my relative, she's a genius. You know, it way before I had any of my, she has multiple fancy certificates of debt, and she still is trying. She goes to school. She goes to online college in her 80s. And so, yeah, intelligence and wisdom, unfortunately, are not precluded or included with neurodiversity. Doesn't mean, yes, we should take, that's what's great about science. It eliminates all of this. And art. If you're an artist, just go do YouTube. As long as you're not hurting anybody. But yeah, Rubiks, any last thing? I feel like it was for you. So just setting love as well. Love.
Yep. That's so. Yeah. Does that answer the question?
I think it does. I feel like it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, just this is a stretch, but it's also an inclusion. If you have alternative medicine and it turns out to be right, it will be medicine. And exactly.
Medicine that's shown to be accurate becomes medicine.
If it came from a shaman, fine. Okay. All right. Whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a Tim Minchin quote from a poem he did at Storm. Or what do you call medicine? Alternative medicine that works? Medicine.
Can I tell you, every skeptic now uses that, and it drives the woo-woo people crazy. Like, it really drives that phrase drives them up the wall. But it's true.
Yep.
Well, yes, thank you, Rubiks, for coming on.
Yep.
What we call homeopathic medicine? A scam.
A scam. An absolute scam.
Yeah, it's diluted to the point where there's not even a molecule left of the so-called medicine.
You might as well be drinking Dasani, because their filters probably aren't even as good. Might as well you get something else in there. Just Dasani, Jason. Can I just say that you just explained dry water, and that is so funny. It probably does. Okay. But yeah, it's probably not. But that's my point. At least you'll be getting a metal or something in there, an iron or something, more than in the fucking I keep on more in the homeopathic medicine, which is like this much, and you're paying like $18 or $8. Anything more than 30 cents is a ripoff. Yes. But Rubiks, thank you so much.
Yep.
And all right, we are switching with Thomas because we already have our thing. Though I will say, actually, I'll give you. I'm going to bait. We're gonna master debate. All right. We are going to give a certain person, and they don't have to join. I'm just gonna send love. We're sending love to Rubiks. Do. Right, I'm about to gang in OTC, but like if there is a specific person that rhymes with Meacher or anyone out there. Well, I'm just saying, I don't get it. We the creationists never join. They never join. They never want to tell us why they think prophets are real. I just don't think it's James.
We'll be okay without hearing from that one.
He's like, let's just go on. All right. Well, I'm just saying, if they would like, well, or any other creationists out there. All right, we're gonna bring on Thomas.
I'm sure he's got lots of stuff to do. He's reading his Bible. You know, he's just loaded down with family obligations and all that. It's okay.
James,
it's
when you don't sin, I feel like you have so much time to tell us why prophets can exist. But you're right. Let's bring on Thomas Bear.
He's busy not sinning.
OTC atheists, we are calling me skeptical. We are talking, can a prophet exist? What is up, OTC atheists?
Hey,
lovely
guys.
Having you on
How are you
board.
doing, Amy? James?
I'm
hope you're all doing well.
Fantastic. And you're from Austin, which makes me so jealous because a lot of cool stuff goes on there. The ACA and then DebateCon is not so far in Texas. And so, welcome. We are talking, can a prophet exist? We're calling us skeptical. And what are your thoughts?
Well, personally, I don't believe such a prophet can exist. Just because somebody believes, in somebody being something doesn't necessarily that what they believe exists. I don't know if I'm saying this well enough. Because a prophet, the word originates from prophetess, from the Old French, from directly from Latin, prophet, an interpreter, spokesman, proclaimer, harbinger, but especially one who speaks for a God, inspired preacher or teacher. And since I don't believe that any of the gods, mankind's known religions exist or can exist for various reasons, I don't believe a prophet could exist. It's like it's almost like believing in unicorns. You can believe in them all you want, but that doesn't mean they really exist.
Indeed, and I sometimes get that apologetic is that, well, don't you believe in a teacher? They were people that were just teaching. And I'm like, okay, I mean, is that what you really mean, though? Is it like, do you pray 5 times to your teacher?
Right.
Because I don't think so.
Right, exactly. Gotta say, I love y'all's animated logo. It looks pretty cool.
Thank you.
Who did that for you?
So it's a great question that you ask, Gizmo and myself, because of all our supporters. I originally did it all myself. I am a graphic designer with many hats. However, as we grew, I'm a perfectionist, and you learn that. There you go. And you learn that you want the people that are really expertise, like, and so I wanted to get. What is up, Atheist Junior? Pray 6 times a day to Amy and 9 times to James W, which is the right amount, like a making chocolate milk. I'm pretty sure.
Perfect ratio of prayer.
Exactly. But I headed over to Fiverr. I'm a big promoter of Fiverr at Fiverr.com. I would have to. I produce and I do all sorts of podcast launching and all sorts of thing out there. But I hired someone, and I could find it for you. But it was someone on there, a fantastic person, who I go and I think of a style, and then I kind of ruminate and
That's
talk
cool.
with them, and we create something.
Cool. I'm a self-taught graphic designer. I've been about 4 years of Photoshop CS6 experience. And
I love
I've played
Photoshop.
around. I played around a little bit with what's the program? DaVinci's Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve, and I took my logo and I created a simple spinning logo using DaVinci Resolve. I'll have to send it to you so you can check it out.
Absolutely. I love graphic design and I love Photoshop. Specifically, I love anything Adobe. I'm kind of an Adobe fangirl. And so
one of these days, I'm going to get the subscription to the Adobe Cloud.
That's what I was going to promote.
Cloud.
That's what you should get because it is a decent package. It used to be thousands of dollars, and so it used to be a little bit more of a gray hat, and it rhymes with more program. Yes, and so exactly, and so, but now because they let you use a student email and all this stuff, and so they give you, so it's $50 a month regularly, and I think if you're a student, it's $30 a month, which is pretty great.
Yeah, it's still a bit outside my budget, but one of these days I hope. So.
And okay,
that's the plan at least.
James, should I even push towards it? Should I keep on going, or what do you think? What does Gizmo
I've been looking
think?
outside. I've been looking outside to see if there's any large trucks passing by I can run in front of.
Oh, sorry.
I haven't seen any though.
I haven't seen any. Okay. Well, without trucks, then we maybe.
Yeah, without the trucks and
sorry, microphone. Yes, that means we may be heading on to a Theus caller, is what James is saying.
Sounds good.
But Thomas, we have been calling. Oh, well, we'll do that in between. We got a super chat as well from the Sinister Porpoise. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
And actually, I'm
enjoying the show
super chat for while you're on here. Thank you so much, Thomas.
It's great to have you on.
And all right, a $2 super chat from the Sinister Porpoise, who is always looking fabulous. Wow. The Gimp. Wait, hold on. Let's pretend that no one has any context about what we're talking about. We're talking about the Gimp. All right, I like where. Oh, you mean the open source and OpenShot are free, and so ladies and gents, go check out the GIMP. I think it's called GIMP, not the GIMP. Well, I guess when it makes it sound kinky. Go check out GIMP. Go check out OpenShot because they are replacements for Photoshop. They're open source. I have used GIMP before. As you would think, and I generally give them permission afterwards. But I still love my Adobe. But if you got no money, it's actually a great program. Just like a shout out to Blender, if you're looking for a free 3D modeling program. Unity, if you would like game design. Learn some C# and all that. But thank you so very much, Sinister Porpoise, for that $2 super chat, for all of your love and support.
You,
and Thomas, we're handing it over to you. We have been calling me skeptical on can a profit exist? And what are your final thoughts?
Oh, as I said, I don't believe that a profit can exist. Since I don't believe in the existence of any gods. So that's my final word. Final thoughts.
Woo-hoo. Thank you so very much, Thomas. Bear OTC
it was good talking with y'all.
for being on.
Thanks, Thomas.
I'll send you that logo in the Discord messaging.
Okay, sounds good.
Y'all have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Ba-da-ba-ba-dum. All right, we're about to. I want to thank Rubiks and Thomas Bear for being amazing, rational, sane, skeptical individuals.
Definitely.
We're probably gonna go.
Now
We're going to
going
just
turn a
send love
corner
to
on
the
that.
chat. I'm like baiting because I love master debating. Atheist Junior, between Amy and James, you have enough X chromosomes to add up to a
There you
real
go.
woman. Nice. That's right, baby. I will always like to just point out to all of the young Earth creationists that there's a subtle difference between me and Eve. Do you know what that is? It's
You don't talk to snakes?
that too. But it's
Well, you might talk to
that
them, but they don't talk back to you.
it's that I exist. Very subtle. It's a very subtle thing.
Oh.
Sending so much love, AJ.
Mic drop.
That's right. Boom, boom, boom. And keep on tagging us and sending in all of the super chats.
That's right.
They
Titan.
are boom, boom, boom. The lifeblood. Help us make the channel even more amazing, as well as just all of the viewers and subscribers. That's right. You win. Just people like Doorknob Head.
Titan. You'll probably want to leave the room shortly.
I'm pretty sure James is about to leave the room, but it's okay. I'm pretty sure into oncoming traffic, as he was trying to say. But we love all of our creationist brothers and sisters here, and we want you to join. This is it. We are going to be going on to our next caller, but if you are also
everybody, take your shot.
But if you are a creationist, you just gotta go right down there, or someone who believes in prophets. Someone who thinks more than profits make profits, which is kind of our thesis right now. And all right, we're rolling into it. We are calling us skeptical on can a prophet exist? What is up, the preacher?
Why do you
Lovely to
dread
have
me
you
so
on.
much? Why do you dread talking to me so much?
I love having you on, preacher.
Serious. Define prophet, because you're a prophet.
A prophet would be, to me, someone who has a direct connection to God, can speak verbally, have like conversations, not just like signs, like English.
So they speak, and they speak as the oracles of God.
Yes, like when you think of Moses, when you think of Jesus, when you think of these prophets, they had one-on-one conversations like that were filmable, that were like you could no,
not all of them.
Okay, well, was it going on at least in their head? Were they talking with them?
Well, I mean, a prophet, really, like you just said, is somebody who essentially speaks as an oracle of God. So if somebody speaks on behalf, I mean, anybody could claim to be a prophet and speak on behalf of God, right? So if you look at it from that sense, then yes, prophets still exist. I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of false prophets on YouTube.
Well, that was kind of Rubrik's point earlier, which we kind of agreed with, is that sure, we agree that the prophet is a concept in our culture. We understand when someone says the prophet Muhammad, I'm not going to sit there and be like, prophet, what does that mean? Because I understand what they're trying to have a conversation, but I guess the crux of this is really, are there actual prophets?
Are there real ones?
Real, whatever word you would like to pick, because here's where I'll go. And I think James, you would actually have to prove him one more. But here's where I'll go with you. I think that there is good evidence that Muhammad existed and that he was not a prophet for anything like that. I think there is sufficient evidence for me right now that Jesus existed and that he was not a prophet. And there is sufficient evidence to me that Moses did not exist and therefore was not a prophet at all because he couldn't have even existed.
But then
Also,
you have to go against all those books that are written in the billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of people. So I mean, that's neither here nor there. We're talking about real prophets today, right?
Well, I would say the claim is also so. Sure, we would agree with you. We don't think that there are prophets today.
I do.
think
Oh,
we would
absolutely.
also-
Any real believer is a prophet.
That sounds like a no true Scotsman.
Oh, what?
A no true as well. It's a purity test, and like any
It is.
real Christian. I mean,
It is. Because if you still sin, then you're still of the
Right.
devil. That makes everybody that still sins a prophet of Baal.
the thing with theology is that everyone has their own, and like you come to us with the sinning thing, we already agree with you that there is no sin because to sin is to offend the
sin.
God or to go against
But
the
you
God.
don't give the credit to Christ.
Sure,
You don't
because
you don't bow to God.
exactly. Not only do we not bow to God,
Right.
we think that is not something you should do.
Right. That's antichrist. That's what you are. You're a prophet of Baal.
I mean, I wouldn't. We are
So there are real
against
prophets
your
today.
version
There
of Christ,
is real prophets today, but there's also
because we
real
think we're
fake ones.
doing good, and we think that theism, the Christianity, is doing harm to society and is actually.
I'll agree
bad.
with you on that because they're teaching the false version of it.
Sure, but see, we get this from every
Sin, repent, repeat.
denomination.
The sin, repent,
Every-
repeat is slavery to sin. It's misery.
Okay, before we go into the sinning track, because
But
that
that's
is
what it's all
almost
about.
like, see, but you say that, but that's really your debate
That's-
between other Christians and people
But
that
it's
you
with
believe
anybody.
you can sin. I want to know why you think Jesus spoke to a God. Like that's my
Jesus is
big
God.
See, but here's my claim. No.
Right, but the Bible calls you a liar.
Okay, how do we know which one of us is telling the truth?
I'm going to trust the Bible. That's the thing you don't know, and nobody watching knows. Okay, you either going to trust God or you're going to trust the sinners.
But okay, but we think team sinning is the good moral side.
Right, and that's where that's because you spit on the Bible.
Sure, we make fun of it.
Figuratively.
I made this,
mockers, scorners, all
Scoffers.
those things that the Bible talks about. Yeah,
Listen, this is a Scoffers Olympics right here.
Indeed,
and that's not something. I mean, you think it's funny and you're all proud about it, but you won't be in the end.
Yeah, but that always sounds like a threat at the end. It's always it
Yeah.
sounds like you won't be laughing when you're dead and burning,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's like but but we're alive, and so all we can deal with is what's in front of our face.
Right. I could say the same exact thing, and I still chose to trust.
Sure.
I trust this. I mean, I'm more free than I've ever been in my entire life, ever, hands down. More free than you, I promise. And you don't even believe in God.
I am not sure that it has anything to do with atheism.
We still have our own conscience
because-
answer to you.
Yeah, I know.
Absolve yourself of anything.
See, I break many laws, probably many laws a day, and yet
now there's where
but
you're
hold on, let
admitting
me
that you
finish
do
my
believe in
sentence.
God.
But I don't think that I do anything bad. I break laws that I think are corrupt and brutal.
Listen to yourself, Amy.
Sure.
Right, and you are still saying that you break those laws, even though you claim to not believe in the God who wrote those laws on your heart.
No,
So you're
mine
still
are
going
like-
to be
God's
held to
laws.
that standard.
Mine
We're
are
talking
sex,
about
drugs,
man's
and
laws,
rocks. and
secular
whatnot.
laws.
Yeah, secular laws. Like the things that the Bible probably outlaws that I want to make legally moral.
Wait, what? The Bible, if you really read it, doesn't outlaw anything. Jesus fulfilled the law for you.
Well, I still
You
think
make
things
the law
bad.
yourself, and then you're
Well,
going to be judged by that law, and you're going to fail.
Here's a good example. I can tell you why I think murdering someone's wrong, and you can just point to the guy upstairs. You can't give me Or maybe I can. Why? Here,
It's
I won't.
fucked up to do to somebody. That's a fucked up thing to do to
Actually,
somebody.
he
That's why
won't.
man's
There we
laws.
go.
To the guy upstairs.
That's
That was
why the
almost
man.
more than we
That's why
normally get.
man's laws are there, though, so that guy can be removed from society and not put anybody else in dangerous way. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not opposed to executing the dude. The Bible was even like, some people need killing.
I am up for that debate. I think there is. I think there is a good debate to be held on whether.
But Jesus
people
died for them
should
too.
be-
That's
whether
that's
or
the thing.
not we should. I do think we need to at least remove. There are reasons we need to remove people from society because they are so harmful that we need to separate out two things. There are
But you can't be a hypocrite
harmful
either.
people, and then we need a better reform system for non-violent criminals who we actually can.
No, we
maybe
need
give us
God's
skill set.
laws enforced, and that's what's going to end up happening in the end.
That got a little bit creepy. Okay, but here, this is the things I always want. You say God's laws needs to be enforced. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm setting up a gotcha. Are you pro free speech?
I'm going after that. No, when I say that, I'm talking about after all the bullshit that's coming. That's long way
I'm just
down the
saying
road.
right now, are you pro free speech?
Define free speech.
You want people to say whatever they want.
Who cares what somebody says?
Okay, but because when I'm getting to like God's law is going to be enforced,
So then
it
you
starts
are
to
for
sound a
free
little.
I don't judge anybody for anything. I'm not a hypocrite. I don't care what you do. But you have now. You're right. You're living now. You're living now. And in the end, you're not going to get a redo button.
True.
You're not going to get a redo button, and you're going to be held
that's-
to that law that you said you break. You're going to be judged by that, and you're going to fucking pay for it.
But we don't believe that. That's
But you
the
do.
claim.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have said you break laws. How can you break laws if you don't
No,
believe
I
in them?
break.
No, she's
I
talking
break-
about man's law.
Yeah.
So you break man's law every day, so you should be in jail?
Government laws.
Unfortunately, probably on certain
man's
things.
law.
Well, I wouldn't say jail. I would say once again, it goes to sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like weed is federally illegal right now. So yes, technically speaking, anytime that I get off stream or whenever I relax and just and smoke a joint, even though on DC it is legal. Now in the state, it is still technically federally legal. So I'm breaking half of man's law. And so it just depends on how you want to slice it.
In reality, Amy, it's so simple. It's just so simple. It's just so simple. If you still do wrong, if you still have the knowledge of good and evil, and you still do wrong, you still think you do wrong, you're going to be judged by that law.
But see, I said very specifically, just because I break a law, I do not steal, lie, or murder.
Right, but you're making it about you. It's not about you.
Well,
If you break one, you're guilty of all.
Conversation
It doesn't.
was about us.
Right, but in Exodus, in your books, right, going back to your roots, in your books, Exodus 32:33, he says, "Whoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book."
Never leave.
So it's, I mean, it just is what it
I think
is.
she's happy to be out of the book. I think she doesn't want to.
Right.
But I
Okay.
mean,
Well, you say
but
that
here's
now.
my thing. Let's go back. That actually takes us back. And actually, no. Actually, I'm gonna write takes us back, my law, and all this. We have a super chat, and it's aimed at you. And that's actually what we said super chats were gonna be for. To be so. $5 super chat. Thank you so very much, Yuda, for all love and support. The Preacher, you said you would kill someone for working on the Sabbath.
No, Jesus would have forgave him. I'm up here preaching forgiveness for everything. When I said God's law should be enforced, I'm talking about like after Revelation and all this shit that's coming. That's when the new kingdom, New Jerusalem, and it's gonna be.
So it was okay to kill a guy picking up sticks back then. But
Well,
now,
they did it in Exodus.
Jesus
It's still the
wouldn't have done
standard.
it.
That is still the standard in God's eyes. That is still today. That is still the standard.
I feel like you just said yes and no at the same time. So
No,
like,
well, for believers, it's not. For believers, they're free from the law. They're free from sin. A believer can't sin. I can't sin. You
So we
still think you do. I'm trying to tell you that you don't.
we don't think we sin.
Right, but you're denying Christ.
Sure.
You know, that's the only way that it makes it so you can't sin.
We
So
think
you
that
still,
day,
so
every
you're
day.
still retaining the knowledge of good and evil. You're still choosing to eat off of that tree.
Well, okay. Thank you so very. If you feel like you've answered that question, thank you so very much. Oh, I just want to make sure because there was a back end. Is that what Jesus would have done? It sounds like you answered that, but I want to make sure.
Yes. Yes, that is what Jesus would do.
All right. Thank you so very much, Judith. And okay, I want to go back to just prophets, which I mean, Jesus is kind of on topic with it. But what do you say to James and I when we don't believe that there was a literal Adam and Eve? There was no original sin.
Genetics have already been traced back. I mean, there has to be a patient zero. I mean, so you guys are just denying facts at
I think
this
you're
point.
talking Resident Evil.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. There has
Are there
to be
prophets?
a start.
You do think there are
And
prophets?
if you look
today?
at creation rate, if you look at the population growth rate from where we're at now, the percentage rates going all the way back, it's perfect for a 6,000-year-old Earth.
I
No.
would
Yeah,
love to see that because as
Yeah,
far
look it up.
They-
That's
they-
real. That's real.
work-
It's been done.
They work the numbers backwards to use whatever numbers they would need to get there.
there is no
No.
way there is enough genetic diversity.
It's
to
the
get
population
6,000
growth rate
years.
of the world. The population growth rate, the recorded growth rate over the last hundreds of years. This is recorded statistical fact that the population growth rate going all the way back puts the Earth at about 4,000 years old or whatever. Whenever the
There
flood.
is
And
no-
then the oldest living tree on the Earth just so happens to be like 4,100 years old. If the Earth was older than that, if there was no flood, then that tree would be much older. There'd be older trees, but there's not.
all of the available empirical evidence shows that humans are 100 to 200,000 years old, that apes can go back millions
They're
of
not.
years,
That's bullshit.
and that
Well-
life is 4.5 billion years old.
No,
Yes.
no. That's
because
bullshit.
because your book said so?
Yeah.
At least you admit it, but I mean, a book said a thing. Is
Yeah, carbon dating is garbage. It only goes back 5,000 years at most, right? And that's on a good day.
We have multiple dating methods, and the great thing about dating
And none of them are
methodologies
accurate.
is
None of them
they
are accurate.
cross-verify each other.
It's all shit. It really is. And I mean, even when they find the fossils for all the dinosaurs and the mammoths and shit, and they're all pulled together, I mean, it was one massive flood. One huge, massive flood.
Amy, I am going to remind you that you're speaking with a flat earther. So, I mean,
Sure.
What?
I just go by the book.
What do you expect?
I just go by
Yeah,
the
what do
book.
you expect? I mean,
Well,
this is
I
just
mean-
And I'm talking to a
You're not
couple of
gonna-
sinners who hate the Bible. So what do I expect? You know what I mean?
I am talking to people actually on the fence because I think what fundamentalism does is that it is so ridiculous. No offense, creature, I love you, but like you
No,
think,
only fundamentalist religion could turn an otherwise probably intelligent guy into a flat earther.
and I'm going to ask this question. I know we're giving you a lot of spice, and you can, like I said, you can always give
No,
it back
we're good.
to us.
Amy, I love you guys. That's why
I
I
love
come
you
on here
too.
because it's what's educated debate more or less.
Well, thank you. And we will read Beamsy's super chat in a second, but I just want to ask, part of the flood is that not only did original sin not give mediating, but it was the flood that gave me. Walk me through the logistics. Why would a
It
flood?
was sin. Sin
What
was the
was sin?
problem. Sin being in the earth was the problem. And God eradicated it.
And so flooding the animals, all the others, that makes
well, yeah.
them hungry.
Well,
for
8
meat.
people made it out. 8 people made it out. God chose Noah.
Once again, supervillain.
No. Just a righteous dude.
Righteous. What makes him righteous?
Faith.
Faith.
Yeah.
Faith is, as far as I can tell, believing something without evidence.
Correct. Which is what I do, right? That's what you guys say about me.
Yes,
Same thing.
unfortunately.
And Noah preached the same thing. He was
Absolutely,
a preacher of righteousness. He was a preacher of righteousness. Same thing. It was the same deal.
Do not find that righteous. I find that ignorant. You're saying
Why?
I am believing in the almost definitionally. You're saying I believe in this not because there's evidence, and I find.
But there is
theists
evidence.
who
There's
will
tons
say,
and tons and tons of evidence.
Well, then you don't need.
Then
faith.
why do you need faith?
Because they go together. I mean, the
Peanut butter
faith's
jelly?
there. I had to look for it to find it. It took me years in the
ever an
Bible.
atheist?
Huh?
Were you ever an atheist, non-believer? In that anything?
At one point. I went through a lot. For a lot of years.
Sorry.
So I got serious about it. And I sat down, I shut everything else off and picked up the Bible and I got serious about it. And at the end of the day, it just is what it is. It says what it says. There's no going against it.
Was there something that really convinced you that you were like, holy, I found the word.
Yeah, when I realized just how fucked the entire world really is. It was that moment. And I could cry. I could cry now.
I'm sorry.
Because of shit like that story with Noah. And when you read a verse like he that committeth sin is of the devil, and you realize and you look around that everybody that sins is really of the devil. Everybody that denies Christ is of the devil.
Sounds like you have
it's a scary
fear.
world.
It sounds like you're in fear of something.
No, it's just a scary world.
But
I understand the story of Noah because of that.
Pushed to that place from a place of fear.
From pain. I got pushed to that place from pain. Lots and lots of pain.
Personal pain from
every angle, man. There's no putting it into words. And I can tell you the story all day long. It's not, there's no way to convey it. But it broke me and I wanted the truth. And so I found it. You're never going to find it in any heathen building, any church. You're not going to find this anywhere. Anywhere. And the people, like when I come up here and I tell you guys about being free from sin and Jesus paid for it all, you guys even look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Coming on here, you were dreading talking to me because what I say
slightly hyperbolic.
I offend people, and it is what it is.
Well,
I am having almost deja vu because this is what we get from Wesley. I know, preacher. Can I tell you the weird thing? You know, we get a lot of people who will criticize us. I have a Shannon Q. I don't know if you know who that is. I have a Shannon Q. She's another amazing skeptic on my shoulder who a lot of atheists will call it mental illness and all this stuff. And then they'll turn around and they'll be like, you're trans? Oh, the irony. Look at you, blah, 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 blah. And so I had to think about what even mental illness is. And to me, it's about functioning as a human being. And so you look at all these Christians throughout our country who live, as far as I could tell, normal lives, live, die, have children and pass on, and they live and die, and they're all normal. And so the reason that it comes off to us is you probably go off in your normal day and everything's fine, everything's functional, and it doesn't matter because you think that Jesus is what grounds everything. But to us, there you go. But to us, those sorts of claims, when you are out of it, you are one among so many. Like that is the thing, is like, it is almost like a take your ticket on theology. Is like you are it is almost like this double-headed sword. The more convinced you are, it comes off less convincing to us. Like, because we just like you're coming to us.
Well, there's only one way, Amy. And that's what Jesus said. He said, I am the way, the truth, the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. And those verses, whether you believe in them or not, they're never going anywhere. They're always going to be there, and you're going to be measured by them, whether you believe it or not.
But see,
and I don't say anything to anything. Like I said, I don't judge you. I come here, and every time I'm here, I tell you that Jesus made you perfect the way you are.
But
and
preacher,
you can't accept
we
that.
get the same thing from Muslims. We get the same thing.
No, you don't.
We're going to hell, absolutely. We're going
to I'm telling you, he made you perfect the way you are, and you're refusing to accept that, which yes ends in hell. They're telling you you're going to hell. They're not giving you an out.
Well, you can just follow. They would say just revert back to Islam as we all originally are.
they'll say keep repenting, right? It'll be that sin, repent, repeat, sin, repent, repeat, sin, repent, repeat, sin, slavery. It'd be the same thing. I'm telling you, you can't even sin to begin with. Like, and I know you're saying you believe that as it is now, but I don't think you understand the depths, the levels that goes to. Like, there's no good or evil.
Well, there's two scenarios. You think you don't sin and you're going to heaven. We say we don't sin and you think we're going to hell. That is the difference. We understand that. It's just,
No, Jesus is the difference. Jesus is the difference.
Jesus.
If you
Well, we
admitted that
think
he died
Jesus
for
is
it
dead,
and
when
forgave
James
you for
doesn't even
everything.
think Jesus was or existed.
Well, let me ask you a question. So, were you ever a believer in your life?
I was a
You were,
theist.
and
I
so
was,
were
and
so
so
you
was
were
James.
so you were a sinner when you went through that, right?
Sinning is complicated with Jews.
Okay, but did you
for
ever
sure.
repent? Did you ever say you were sorry to God back then?
Not like Jews don't do that like that. You can be sorry to God, but it's a little. It's not about asking for forgiveness until you do something.
Right. So, did you ever do something that you needed to ask for forgiveness for?
I assume yes.
So
I
who's
assume
who?
so.
Okay. So who? You know, when who's paying for that?
When you just asked God and He just said, "Cool." There you go. That's it.
No.
There's no sacrifice needed. There's no.
Well, no, because if you still sin, then you're still of the devil.
You
You
stop
still blot
doing
it
it.
out. You still blot it out.
So
But
let's
then you
just
don't.
let's make a sin. Just assume you're really into masturbating. Okay.
Okay.
All you need to do, as far as I can
Not
tell
that
from
she
the
is,
Jewish
just-
religion, is stop doing it and ask for just say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's it.
Okay. Have you ever stopped?
Me? No,
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is that you're never going to stop. Trying to stop is almost futile.
But the difference is I left the religion, and so I stopped thinking that those things are sins anymore.
Right. And see, that's where me and you differ. You gave up and walked away. I picked up the book and said, no, there's got to be
Sure.
more here. And when I picked up the book and was like, okay, there's got to be more here, I found out that no. What Jesus really did was fulfill the law. And so, because he fulfilled that law, I'm no longer under it. So I can masturbate all I want. And there's no right or wrong or sin about it.
Well, like I said, I think I understand
I just
what
thank
you're
him
saying.
for reconciling it.
We have two different ways. I mean, my joke is always,
But there's only one way in.
You are labeling ice cream 0% fat, even when it does with
No.
that.
No.
But
No.
Because we both feel that we both you can masturbate, I can masturbate, and yet I'm still going to hell because I don't have Jesus.
Correct.
And so we should just go back
because
to Jesus.
you're not submitting to God.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's right.
And we
That's
probably
and
won't
that
ever.
is disobedience, and then you're done. And it's
Sure.
it's
I mean, we agree.
it's so simple, Amy.
But we don't think that we should eat. So,
But you're not just going to get. You're not just going to hell for masturbating once. You're not just going to hell for masturbating once.
We're believing.
It's for all
we're
the
not
things.
Believing or submitting.
Right. You're
Yes.
getting hit with all of it in the end.
Yes. We.
Why
think
would
that's
you do that?
shitty because we think that he is not worthy of that judgment title, and so when he's saying that we're sinning, it seems like a dictator.
He created you, and you're the one that says you sin, not him.
So wait, let me give this a. I'm gonna frame this. I'm sure. How can I frame this?
He created you.
Creepy, and yet this is what you're trying to tell. Do your parents? Do you think that they have the jurisdiction to tell you when you can or cannot masturbate as an adult?
If they were alive, I would honor my father and my mother. Not that I follow the law, but because. It's my mom and my dad. I would definitely take their input.
You wouldn't masturbate right in front of your parents.
I know. I understand taking their input, but my question is, and I'm sorry, I'm sending love, first of all, to your mother and father, but I still, I don't want to flip it around. That is as creepy as I'm going to get it, and it conveys the message. If they were, would you stop? That would be enough to convince you? You would go, my creators have told me to do
No, because
it.
my mom and my dad aren't my creators. God created them too. God is the creator. He's the one that created me. And yes, he has jurisdiction to judge.
You're skipping. You're skipping the question.
No. You're trying to cut God out of the equation. You can't.
I'm trying to make it in a different way. God doesn't have the jurisdiction
He
to
does.
tell us what. I mean, you claim he does,
He does. No, he does, and that's even better.
or else he'll hurt us.
History
He'll torture us.
shows, man. History shows.
Or else he'll torture us after death.
He's the mafia boss.
Well,
right?
I mean, that happens now. He did the earthquake. Like he does all that. He's in control of everything.
But the three of us were not in the earthquake. We're doing good.
Correct.
That was another horrible thing. But before we get into the, like,
Yeah.
He's an awesome God.
we're gonna bring up
Right.
Beamsy's thing because he paid and supports us, and we just want to send support. It's for you anyway. Sending so much love, everyone out there. If you want to
Exactly,
ask
Beamsy.
questions.
That's the gospel, right
So
there.
if
Good job.
Jesus died in abolishment for all of mankind's sins, then there would be nothing anyone could do against God's laws, and it has all been forgiven.
Correct, but you have to accept it. You have to actually believe it. If you don't believe it, if you don't accept it, and you spit on His grace, you're done. That's how this works, and it's only for 144,000 people. There's 144,000 that'll be actually saved. The rest of the world, they're going to learn the hard way.
So they have preacher.
They're going to learn the hard way.
When you make specific statements like that,
That shows you that-
it makes it sound a little bit without evidence. It does. It sounds a little bit more off-putting. That's the nice.
It is. I have evidence. I have the Bible.
I love you. You're not off-putting to me, and that's a nicer way of saying what you think it means. Like that's why people think. Because 100,000.
No, I have the Bible. I can show you 144,000, and even in Genesis, he said
144,000. That means if you were going to be 144,001, God is just like, woo!
No, He'll come in His when it's done.
No.
When it's done,
What
it's
about
done.
139,999?
It's 144,000. 12,000 for each tribe.
Ends up sitting at the very end. Does he still
12,000 for each tribe, Amy.
No, he wouldn't sin because if he thought he sinned, Amy, then he wouldn't.
He already said it.
Remember?
Exactly. It's built in. It's like a charger that's made into the desk. All you got to do is put the tablet on it.
No, you just gotta want it.
Gotta want it.
That's it. You just gotta want it.
So
yes, prophets are real. Prophets are real. And it's been nice chatting.
All right.
Sinister, Amy.
Yeah, sound. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I undid it. You did the right thing. He's $2 super chat from the Sinister Porpoise. He's right. Sin exists. It's opposite / hypotenuse.
Sin exists for the people that think it does.
Sign,
And to the people that deny Christ.
Just,
I mean, it just is what it is.
The math joke just hit me in the face. Thank you so very much, Sinister Porpoise. That's true. All right. I will concede. You're going to have to measure on a 90-degree angle. Thank you so very much, Sinister. And
that probably doesn't work on a flat Earth, so that doesn't.
It's true. You're around. Are you around? You're around Earther, right?
No.
You're a flat Earther preacher?
Me? I don't get into it. I don't really care
You don't
enough
get into it?
No.
You're agnostic. That's interesting.
He said before that he was a flat Earther.
Hey, I'll take
Well, I go by the Bible. That's what I go by. I just go by the Bible.
Does the Bible say that it's a flat Earth?
Well, do you guys know what the Bible says?
Oh, we
about
do.
that?
It says that it's a sphere.
You know what it's about? No, it doesn't.
Or it says it's not a sphere. It says it says it's flat Earth circle. There we go. And a circle.
Right, it calls it a circle, but it also mentions the
right?
face of the earth. And if you know what a watch is like if you ever wear a watch, that circle is a face at the same time. And in the Bible, he calls it the face of the earth and the circle.
So it could be round.
It's a circle.
Be a circle.
It's like a pizza. It's a pizza.
That's true.
A flat pizza, a pancake.
That's very interesting. You get political on that. Yeah, like I keep on. No. Thank you so very much, Sinister and Beamsy. Or do you have to leave, Preacher?
No.
I know Beamsy wants to get on, and I know that generally speaking, he would probably value talking to you more than just talking to us for 10 more minutes. And so we're going to give Beamsy 10 more minutes, and then it's going to probably be the end of both of you.
Okay.
just for the night, not the
Unless
end
she
as
just
in
comes
killing,
back before the end
because
of
we
the
love you and just
show.
want to fill you with tacos.
Oh no, it is
Yes,
what it is.
exactly.
I was gonna take a nap before you guys kept like egging me to come on here.
Woohoo. I was
Yes.
sending some real
Sleepy preacher.
Well, some people on channels, they get really super spicy and they just sit there, they yell at the chat and they're like, they're stupid unless they join. I don't want to be like that. I want you to actually join on your own volition and all this stuff. And all right, let's get Beamsy on there.
No,
and...
you lured him on. You got your bait.
Oh, I did.
cast
I'm
him
not
out
going to say I didn't do that. Oh.
with your tackle, and you reeled him in.
I mean, James, it's called a skeptical. We want the people that disagree with us. And now we're getting the people who agree with the people who disagree with us. We're bringing on Beamsy. What's up, Beamsy? We're calling us skeptical, and now we got 10 minutes for this whole panel of loveliness that we got going on as we are talking, can a prophet exist? What are your thoughts?
In the aspect of a prophet, they always exist. It's whether or not the message they actually put forth is true or not.
Correct.
Sure.
But the aspect of what I would like to ask the preacher is, do you believe that reality exists?
No. Yes and no. I guess it exists, but it means nothing. Nothing in this world means anything. It's pointless. There's no. We're here for one reason and one reason only.
So nihilistic. At
It's
least
a
to me,
proving
that's
ground.
what it sounds like.
But if reality doesn't exist in your mind, then how can you actually say that anything is real?
Because it is. You can see it, touch it, smell it, hear it, taste it. You have your senses.
Stop it.
That doesn't
Consciousness.
define the aspect of reality.
Consciousness.
Again,
Consciousness
that does
in
not
itself.
define your.
But
That
reality
just
is eternity. I would say this is temporary.
No, but that then stems down to the idea of all your senses and your consciousness. That stems down to the aspect of the brain in the jar.
Explain.
All of the senses that we actually experience can be tracked down to neurosynthesis. They can actually be tracked down to the direct neurons that are fired within the synapse.
Electronic signals sent from one part of your brain to another to tell you that is real. Yeah.
But they can also be synthesized.
But matter exists on a very minute level, but matter still exists.
But how do you prove that matter exists?
Well, isn't it? That's subatomic shit. You want to get into quantum physics? That's cool.
No, matter is a physical
String
entity
theorist.
that we can only prove through our interaction with it. The aspect
Well,
of
yeah,
the difference
but
between matter and energy.
matter is also
which
empty,
Higgs
though.
is a different
Like
aspect.
my table, when you get down to a molecular level, it's 99.9999% empty space.
But again,
But it's still
how do you prove that it exists? Because again, you are saying that reality doesn't exist.
Well, I said yes and no. At first I say no
It's-
because it's an illusion. Everything you see is an illusion. Everything, this entire world is a lie. It's the devil fucked everything up.
Then how come the Bible doesn't fall into that? Because it also
It does.
is just something that you do.
It does. Whoever sins is of the devil. The Bible's perfect.
How is that possible if everything is an illusion?
Because he put it here. Just like everything else he created.
But
By
you just
speaking.
said everything was corrupted by the devil. So isn't
Right.
that a contradictory
No.
statement?
Because the Bible's not corrupted.
How do you know?
Because it's not. It's been purified 7 times. I've been through the entire thing. There's 0 contradictions.
7 times specifically?
Well, yeah.
Even though in Mark and Matthew, Jesus said he would return in the lifetime of his followers,
In this generation. Yeah.
but he never returned.
Well, not yet.
But all his followers
He didn't
are long
say
dead.
he would do it. He didn't say he would do it in their lifetime. No.
No, many of you shall not taste death before my return.
Yeah. They
So
don't die.
he said he
Believers
would
don't die.
return. Then what do they do then?
Well, the body goes to done, but the believer doesn't die. So they don't
No,
taste death.
but death is the absence of the physical being. It doesn't actually affect anything of the spiritual being. So
Oh, it does. It does. Yeah. When you die, you go from here to judgment.
But isn't that more of the aspect of set?
No, it's judgment. When you die, you go to judgment.
Yeah, but isn't that the idea of more of Set than anything to do within Christianity?
What do you mean by Set?
Set, he is one of the Egyptian gods.
Oh yeah, I never got into that. I don't mess around with that.
But the idea of judgment, that doesn't actually appear of anything within the Bible. So where are
Yes,
you
it
coming
does.
to the idea?
Yes, it does.
Where?
It is
Where?
appointed on a man once to die, and then the judgment.
But that's more referring to the judgment day, not the actual
Revelation
judgment.
21:8. You'll be judged according to your works. Jesus tells you you'll be judged by the Bible in John 12:48. It's all over the entire Bible, man.
Yes, but that's a judgment that is made at the point of your death. That's not an actual judgment.
That is actual judgment.
Yes, but you're not actually brought up to a judgment.
Yeah, you are.
Then how come there is no definition of you're brought in before a judgment anywhere in the Bible, but you're only judged from the Bible?
You're not making any sense.
When you're brought before a judgment, you're brought before a tribunal, and they actually judge you on your actions. That is passing of a judgment. But
Right.
if you're judged on something, therefore you've already been made. The outcome has already been defined, just judged on your behavior.
That's why if you die still a sinner, your outcome is only one outcome.
But again, making the statement that Jesus died for all of mankind's sins, not just all believers' sins. It specifically says that all of mankind.
But you have to believe. Mark 16:16 tells you that he that believeth. Hang on, I got it pulled up. Mark 16:16 says,
And in Matthew,
he that believeth and is
doesn't
baptized shall
speak-
be saved. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not is damned already. Hang on. Right here. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. Yeah, you have to accept it. Just because I give you a gift doesn't mean you open it. You don't have it really until you open it.
But that again is
No, it's
contradicted in Peter and Matthew.
No, it's not. No, it's not at all. You have to repent. You have to accept the gift. You have to bow before him. Or you're going to go to hell.
That is only said in only one of his prophets. So
no, it's in the
how
entire
is that
book.
true?
It's in every book in the New Testament. It's in every book in the New Testament. I would know. I've read it like 5,000 times. You're full of shit.
I can't debate you on that one. That's actually fairly accurate. But going into other things.
No, that's it, man. If you sin, you're of the devil. If you die still sinning, you're going to go to hell. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have, what your life is like. None of that matters to me. All I care about is telling you is that Jesus did something amazing for you on that cross, and you will either accept it or you will burn.
Or there's the third option that everything within that book is false, and we're both wrong.
Okay, well, you go ahead and bet against it. And I'm not wrong because I don't bet against the Bible. I go by the Bible.
Yeah, I bet against it because the Bible is full of fallacies, and that's why.
Well, that makes you a false prophet, as you came up here and were so kind to discuss. And it makes me
I'm asking you questions in regards to the things that you're pointing forth.
False prophet asking a real prophet.
And I'm giving you answers, and you're telling me the Bible's a liar. No, you're the liar.
I can show that the Bible is a liar because I accept that reality is real.
No, you can't. You can't show me the Bible lies.
Yes,
if you could, then the Bible would be pulled off every shelf. It would not be sold anymore. Because then it would make the whole thing. It would make the whole thing a lie.
But it's actually.
But the Bible's not the liar. You're the liar.
But again, the Bible would fit quite well in the nonfiction because it has some aspects.
The Bible crushes sales every year of every book. Every year of every book.
It's not even in the top 10.
It's number one every single year. Do your research. They had to pull it from the top 10 list because nothing else became number one. And that was like back in the 50s and 60s.
And so, guys, I'm going to give you another minute or so each to just start to do a summation. And then we are going to wrap up and bring Christ Brings a Sword on. But it has been a fantastic calling me skeptical. we're gonna go Beamsy and then Preacher. If you would like to say whatever you want about can a prophet exist?
The real prophets do still exist, and they're the ones that everybody hates. They're the ones that everybody hates, and they're so few and far between. It's sad. Jesus really died for everything, though. He reconciled all things. There is no sin. If you still believe in right and wrong, then you still serve the devil. That's it.
Thank you so very much, the Preacher, and then Beamsy. Another minute to you. We are calling us skeptical. Can a prophet exist? Thank you for coming on, and your final thoughts.
Again, as I said, prophets can exist. It's more about their message, and I feel sorry for the ones that actually believe for things like that without any grounding in evidence. They are hurting themselves and people around them without knowing it, and I don't hate them. I just wish the best for them, and I would wish them to actually realize what they're doing.
You first.
What do you mean me first?
You first. Well, when you say that about everybody else, you imply that you know better than everybody else, or at least better than the people that you're talking about, but you yourself are still wrapped up in your own corruption. So you first.
Getting spicy.
That doesn't make any sense.
And all right, on that, I'm sending love to both you, Preacher and Beamsy. Lovely having you on, and keep on coming on.
Enjoy your night.
Das Vidania.
All right. We're going to bring on Christ Brings the Sword.
Got Shane Bilowitz out there. Hey, Shane, good to see you again.
Shane. Sending love, as well as sending love to April Cox and I Draw Stuff and Binge Thinker and Mike.
Hey, guys.
And Zocalox, everybody hanging with us. Goth, Fortnite Head, Morena, Native Atheist, Sinister, everybody out there, Fecknell, woo woot. And this is probably going to be our last.
Coming up on the end of the show, yeah.
Yes, this will probably be our last caller. And so we've been sending love, unless someone really spicy disagreeing with us comes on. But let's get it on. We are going into our next caller on Calling Me Skeptical and Can a Prophet Exist? We're bringing on Christ Brings a Sword. Boo. Boop a shoop a doo ba doo boo. What is up, Christ Brings a Sword? Lovely to have you on. We're talking Can a Prophet Exist? How are you tonight, and what are your thoughts?
First time trying my computer out using this. Does it work? Are you hearing me?
Yes,
okay?
it does. We're hearing you.
Beautiful. Let's go forward.
It's a little low on my end, but maybe that's just me.
Well, that's okay. Keep on talking. Maybe I can make you louder.
What would you like to talk about?
Well, tonight we are talking Can a Prophet Exist?
Well, I think there's no punishment for being a false prophet, is there?
As far as
nobody goes to jail. Nobody goes to jail for being a false prophet, so anybody can be a prophet if they want to be. But if you follow the Bible, if you follow the Bible, it will tell you that if a person is a false prophet, what do you do with them? You kill him. So,
well, that's not good.
Any false prophets. I don't believe there's any prophets. There's false prophets, but we have the Bible, and the Bible tells you prophecy. You don't need a prophet to tell you because we have it in the written word. So everyone is a prophet.
Doesn't seem to be very useful, though.
How is it not useful?
I mean, has anybody ever used the Bible to predict that it's been of any use to anybody?
Well, there's a lot of prophecy in the Bible that has been fulfilled. The most famous one is when Israel came back as a nation in 1948.
Yeah, that's kind of like the one big hit because it talked about Israel in the last days, and for a while, the longest time, there was no Israel, and now there is an Israel again. So that's kind of like the one big hit, but I
Well, to me, I always joke that means the United Nations would thus be the prophet. At least has a better
The
claim
Messiah.
to me than Jesus. Yeah, the Messiah.
Well, I think the United Nations is part of the Antichrist system that's going to come in eventually.
That's
And
what they've
they're
been
the
saying
ol-
for the longest time. Yeah.
And that's just like the weirdest thing. The one people that actually help Israel out, they're the Antichrist.
Well,
They
I
don't
mean,
really-
of course,
they don't really
they
help
have to be the Messiah, right? So that Israel will worship the Antichrist, not the real Messiah, right?
I guess so.
There's a statue of the beast outside the United Nations that matches the beast in Revelation, or is it in Daniel? Either way, it's the beast that's mentioned in the end times. And there's a statue out in the front of the United Nations that depicts it exactly. So they're just...
Is that what the artist's description is saying? That this is basically the biblical...
I don't think anybody's come out and said it outright, but you can look at it and make your own decision. Kind of like if you go to Disneyland, you see the statue of Walt Disney holding the hand of Mickey Mouse in the center next to the Princess Castle, whatever that's called. And he's holding up two fingers. That's a representation of Moloch, the child, right there in the middle of Disneyland. He's just, instead of Moloch, he's got Disney doing the same thing. So it depends on how you see it. Most people don't see that. I see it.
But you see it as in like your brain is generating, or you really do think that they are servants of Moloch?
Walt Disney with yeah.
Well, I see the statue of Moloch with the children and the collars around their neck loosely fitted so they could escape out of it if they wanted to. And then I look at Mickey Mouse holding the hand of Disney while he's holding up two fingers, exactly like Moloch.
Is it like this?
Yep.
That's a peace symbol, right?
You know what that means? It's not a peace symbol.
No, it definitely is a massive conspiracy for Satan to deal with Disney.
It means I will vanquish you. I will pull back my string of my bow and I will kill you from a distance. It's a representation of a what do you call them? The guys who shoot the arrows.
But let me just sell you on a different...
Archer, yeah.
Can I sell you on a different one? There was an artist who was like, I'm going to sell a sculpture of Mickey Mouse and the person who made Mickey Mouse famous, and they're going to be holding hands, giving a peace sign.
Well, a lot of people hold up peace signs,
models.
don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing. Like the OK sign can be interpreted as the number 666. People see it as just being okay. So it depends on what you see.
I mean, there's only so many signs people can make with their hands, so I guess at one point or another, they've all been used before, right? So.
Also, I've been waiting to use this. You're gonna serve Satan, huh? That's right.
That wasn't bad.
Is that Baphomet you have? Yeah.
Always ready to have your soul be
just devour
consumed.
Your soul right up.
Exactly. No. And cheesecake. It's the two things that Bahamut likes. If you're asking why do I randomly have Bahamut, am I just trying to work for him?
That is Mr. Amy Newman, that Baphomet with the
she's
penis.
Gone. That's right. Apparently Satan was stronger than her. Just like I have a Ouija board somewhere back here because someone told me that it was the strongest scientific instrument that I have. But now I get Christians that are like, no, you're summoning Satan because you got that right down there. And it's like, what? I was just trying to get a scientific instrument. Hello? Domino's? I'd like to order a pizza. Oh, I got crappy reception right now. Anyway, we were talking about prophets.
Send those emojis.
Send those emojis. I'm sorry, Christ.
I've had a lot of experiences before I was a Christian. What you might call psychic experiences or paranormal experiences, but
Why?
that was before I was a Christian. You have to understand. Now that I'm a Christian,
You see them as works of the devil.
I don't know what to make of them. I know that I believe them, and I don't know if they really happen. I know some of them happen, but now I just dismiss it all, and I say I don't want any more of that information. I'm just going to focus on the Bible. And
is there something that made you a Christian? Is there something that really sold you?
Well, yeah, I was following some New Age stuff, UFOs and stuff like that. Really got my attention back about 8 years ago, I guess. And so I was looking at the stars a lot, and I saw some pretty wild stuff. If you just look at the sky, you'll see stuff if you look long enough and if you know what you're looking for.
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's all cosmological. I don't think you'll see any paranormal or supernatural, but you'll see amazing stuff.
Are you a new Christian, or
what's that?
You just became a Christian, or?
Well, in 2017, you probably heard about, maybe didn't, about the Revelation 12 sign in the sky, and I saw that happen. I said, well, that's impossible. There's just no way that could happen, but it did happen. And I said, well, that's what the Bible says was going to happen. And I said, well,
what happened?
Well, there was an alignment of the stars on September 23rd, 2017. And it matches the...
I want you to know, I love you. That was the most New Agey sentence that you have said thus far. I love you, though. I'm going into it. Continue.
I'm just telling you the truth. It may sound weird, but there it is. So there was an alignment of the stars. I wasn't the only one who saw it. It was a big news item for a lot of people. That got my attention. And I was, of course, looking at the stars. And when I saw that Jupiter was in the womb of Virgo for 9.5 months, which is the gestation period of a human being, I said, that's impossible. That can't be. Yeah.
Not only is that impossible, I'm confused with the sentence.
Well,
one of the planets just sounded pregnant for a second.
That's right. That's the Virgo is the virgin, right? Virgo, virgin.
I'm with you.
Virgo also represents Israel in Bible prophecy. So Virgo is Israel, and inside Israel is Jupiter in a retrograde motion in the womb. It stays there for 9.5 months, which is the exact time of a human being in a mother's womb. Now, do you think that's coincidence?
I am still confused on what the miracle is. I'm trying to find the gestation period of Jupiter.
If you look at Revelation 12, it says that there was a sign of a woman with a crown of 12 stars, and the moon was at her feet, and the sun was at her shoulder, and she was in labor, giving birth, and there was a dragon between her legs, ready to devour the child as soon as it was born. Well, all those. Can I interrupt you? All those things happened on that day.
You're saying a moon, a woman with 12 stars happened on 2017?
I'll read it for you if you want me to pull it up.
Well, not just the passage, but you're saying that this happened. What was the event?
I think we actually reviewed a video about this before. Remember, vaguely, it was like this is a star chart that we looked at, but the guy was like, "Oh, but you can only see it in the daytime." But
yeah, you can only see it in the daytime.
Yeah, but you can only see it in the daytime, which you can't see the stars in the daytime. So yeah.
But if you have a computer application that can look at the stars on your screen,
it would have been only
that's how you can look at it is through the virtual. But it still happened in the sky. You just couldn't see it with your bare eyes because when the sun is out, you can't see the stars, right? So, but you can see it in a computer application.
I would be interested to see it. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong.
I saw that and I said, well, that's impossible. That can't possibly happen.
But what was the event? Like, I get there's this poetic passage. I'm still, I feel like Jupiter needs to ask for child support right now.
Well, you had 12 stars above the head of Virgo. Normally there are 9. But on that day, There was an alignment of the planets, which gave it 12, and then you had Jupiter.
But can I tell you why astrology and all
That's not
of that?
astrology. This is not astrology. Astrology is a pagan belief. This is.
I mean, technically, so is decorating your tree. But, like, I don't understand why a planet and a sun or anything aligning would do anything. Like, we're used to things in a movie, like, script writing wise, we can make it make sense because we're like, and everything aligned, and then the temple door open. And even that's a physical thing that we could probably, but like, what is this? Like, we don't have actually planets aligning, and then everyone gets pregnant when the planets align. Like, what happened? Was there like a queen that gave birth? I feel like you're missing out like the other half of your prophecy.
If you look back on it in 2017, you say, well, what would that sign mean? You could look at it and you could say, well, right after it happened, the President of the United States declared Jerusalem the capital of Israel.
Oh my goodness. You are telling me that the planets aligned for Donald J. Trump.
No, that's not what I said. You put words in my mouth, didn't you?
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. Which president was it?
I said that the President of the United States, whoever he was.
What was his name, though?
The guy that you don't like.
So it wasn't putting words in your mouth.
Well, that is exactly what you just said. Yeah. Okay. It's the president at the time. You want to use Trump's name? Fine. Use Trump's name.
One of the two of the co-hosts voted for Trump. I know that I don't like.
All right. You're getting away from the point. The point is that the president of the United States declared Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. That's the point.
So my point is that it aligned for Donald Trump is what the claim is right now.
Trump is in the Bible.
I'm sorry, what?
Trump is in the Bible. Look it up.
You've definitely lost James now.
I'm sorry. You can look it up yourself. You don't need me to tell you.
Like what?
Look at 1 Corinthians 15, 51, 52, 53. Trump is in there. He's also in 1st or 2nd Thessalonians 4:17. He's also there. The name Trump is there. At the last trump.
The Trump of God.
Holy moly.
That's the rapture.
No, I know
I
know the word Trump exists. Like, this trumps that. They use trumpets.
Yeah, forget the man named Trump, but the word Trump biblically means the voice of God. That's what it means. But you don't have to associate it with the man Trump if you don't want to. But that's what it means biblically.
I'm pretty sure that they just, like, his name wasn't even originally, this is just like most of our names, just like my name has been.
Well, you want to talk about the man Trump, and I'm talking about the word Trump. The word Trump is in the Bible.
I do not think anything supernatural. Well, here's my, I guess this is an easy claim because I don't think any president had a supernatural. It's actually, but I am narrowing it just for the sake of this argument. I don't think there was any aligning of the planets or cosmological bodies during the time that Donald Trump was president that would help significantly prove a God exists. Or, he did it for political reasons, that the Jews wanted it. And so
whatever his intention or his motivation was, it coincided with what happened on September 23rd when Jupiter came out of the womb of Virgo. Now, after it came out of the womb of Virgo, it went over to the constellation Libra, and it moved over the scales of Libra, which is justice. And
this is astrology.
No, this is astronomy. This is astronomy.
No.
Astrology is different. There's a difference between astrology and astronomy.
What makes this astronomy?
Because
Jupiter is in our solar system. All those other stars are millions of light years away.
We're not talking about some woohoo kind of thing. We're talking about things that you can look at. You can look at this. You don't have to interpret it.
But the constellations are are just pictures in the sky. Jupiter is not in anything. Jupiter is in our solar system.
Well, Jupiter's not part of a
That's why we're
constellation.
saying it's like astrology, because the constellations, yeah, it's based on astrology. It's not.
There's the Pleiades. Everybody knows the constellation. The Big Dipper. We all know these things. You know, they're all there. We all are familiar with them. That's not astrology.
But we make them up ourselves. There's nothing significant about the Big Dipper.
Jupiter
we
going
make those ourselves.
Constellation. Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything else. It's just
we
well,
just
that's
looked
how
up.
you view it. That's how a lot of people view it.
That's how scientists view it.
If you look at scientists are not believers in the Bible either. But if you
some are.
If you're,
I wonder why most of them aren't though.
If you look at the first book of the Bible, it talks about the stars being for signs and for seasons. So it's for signs, and we are getting signs. That was just one sign. There's been other signs too. There was a sign a year and a half ago, when the planet Mercury retrograded around the star Spica and went back towards the sun. Spica is the brightest star in the constellation of Virgo, which is Israel, and that would be King David. So the brightest
None of these stars have any effect on our human lives. They are too far away to affect us.
If you're looking for prophecy, one way to find prophecy is in the stars. The other way to find prophecy is in the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the other way to find prophecy is in the Bible. So you got three sources of prophecy. You can deny them all, but you can't deny that they exist. The stars are there, the pyramid is there, the Bible is there. That much you know.
I want testable predictions. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, you're not the judge, are you?
Well, I have to be for myself.
For yourself, yes. But you're not the judge of all things that are true.
Well, for me, I am, yeah.
You have to live with your choices then, because at the end of the day, your pride is going to put you in the position of being responsible for everything you've said and done, and that's going to put you in hell.
We also don't believe there is an arbiter of truth, as in we don't think there's one person that is a giant judge that judges everyone else. We don't think that is a valid concept.
Doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what's true.
Ramen, brother. Also, just sending love to Maya, who says, thanks, Amy. Claudia.
Thanks, Maya.
What else do you want to talk about?
Gotta be careful, though. I can't do ball.
Do we have an ETA on when they're going to start building this temple again?
Well, before they build the temple, I think the Antichrist has to come, and he isn't here yet.
Okay.
So when he comes in, they'll be building the temple.
Most of them put that it'll be built before, so he can do the abomination of desolation.
Yeah, in the middle of the 7 years of tribulation.
So he can go in there and declare himself to be God.
That's right.
Well, what happens if the Antichrist comes along and he's a super nice guy?
He is a super nice guy.
He will be super nice. That's why people
worship
him, Amy.
He's gonna do good things.
He's gonna be like Obama if he isn't Obama. He'll be like Obama.
He'll be like Obama.
You know, a smooth talker. And he'll lie.
But not the other guy. The other guy's a man of God.
Well, is this political or are we going to get political? Because I don't care. Trump, I don't support Trump.
Okay. Well, the reason that it shouldn't have to be, it's just, it reveals certain absurdities when you do make it like that. I would agree. Because I am not for any side. I am, I guess, biasly towards liberal, but I'm not anti-conservative, and I'm not anti-anybody. I don't think the person that I was criticizing even was conservative. And so it is just, I think he's an atheist too. That's the other weird thing. I'm convinced that person is like us. And so it's a weird.
I think Obama's an atheist too.
Oh no, I agree. But see, and there, I think that his father was Obama's father was an atheist and a humanist. You know, they call him a Muslim, but Obama's father was actually more a secular humanist than he was a Muslim.
Because he was born into Islam.
Yes, and so exactly, just because he was born into Islam, he seems to have.
You have to identify as Islam.
Oh yeah, but I also think
you're
that
going down a rabbit
Trump
hole here.
also,
I mean, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I got a lot of information to share with you. But I don't want you to think that I'm a big Trump supporter, because I mean I like Trump, but he's no longer president, is he? So
no.
Big deal. He's just a civilian. Big deal. He's just like you and me now.
Sure. It's just okay. It is just probing questions. Like I said, it's not
pants on one leg at a time.
One leg at a time. And okay, we're gonna read one more super chat, and then we're going to keep on going with you. Christ brings a sword. We actually give more time to the more you disagree with us, the longer that we try and cap it off at like 40, but we're still going good. Khaleesi, $5 super chat. Entertainment at its best. Woo! P.S. I have low standards. Just sending love, Khaleesi.
Thank you so much. Low standards, Khaleesi.
I know. I think we all just want to rag around in the mud. We can't help ourselves. I like to think of ourselves as the comedic version of our epistemological, ontological conversations here.
Richard's saying he wants to. I think Richard wants to come on and talk to.
Come on and talk to. Well, then we have 8 more minutes. I'll give you the same deal that I gave you to Beamsy. Is that at the 30-minute mark, I'll give you the last 10 minutes over to you, and then we'll get Sinister number.
Now go figure.
I know what Jay. It's like the exact opposite. We're probably gonna dip out because the viewership is going to go down. We don't want to compete, and then they all. Jay, we should just have cheerleading outfits until the last 10 minutes. But Christ, we're sending love. Can a prophet exist? I would agree with your last statement. I can't believe you would say something so brave. I don't know if the TOS will even let us put that on there. We're probably going to have to bleep it right now live. Yeah, you probably all missed that. That's okay. We'll send out love. We'll keep on sending. Thank you so very much. Well, I'll tell you, I think 2/3 of the Adult Swim lineup just got taken down by one guy. Do. Respect women and you won't lose your shows. Oh, my. Well, respect women. Respect men. Respect human beings. Consent. It's sexy, ladies and gentlemen.
The number one thing that gets me banned is when I talk about women. That's the number one thing. People don't like me talking about women.
Can I guess why?
Because they need to be silent.
They need to. There's no way you don't have a gummy fetish.
They don't like it.
Not.
Imagine if women had to remain silent, you wouldn't want to be a woman, would you?
Are you married?
I used to be.
That sounds about right. No offense. But
well, she died. She didn't leave me, so you can make fun of me if you want.
I'm sorry that you did.
She died.
Okay, but I feel still that you wouldn't be making that statement. Did you feel that way when she was?
No, I was an atheist. I was an atheist when she was alive.
Okay, so you respected her while she was alive. That's good.
Oh, absolutely. I worshipped her.
What are you gonna do with that? But if you had another wife now, you wouldn't?
No.
I feel like that is still a step in the wrong direction.
I'm not looking for love or a relationship. I've got Jesus in my heart. That's all I need. I don't need anyone else. I'll do me, you do you, you know?
I got you. It's just,
everybody has their choice. Like I'm 60 years old. I had my good times, you know? I had a beautiful wife. It was great. I got 2 boys and nothing to regret.
I am happy that you had a good life. I am happy that you, sounds like you said, you worshipped her and that you have 2 beautiful boys.
I'll see her again because she was a Christian before I knew her.
It is a tepid thing to talk about death with, because the way that we view it, I think we should honor the dead. I don't want to walk over someone's grave, and we should be respecting them. I guess we should bring it back to Jesus, because that is the guy who is the pinnacle of why you think
Definitely
that you will be having a conversation afterwards. Well, you said that it's some of these prophecies. Is there something that could happen that could convince you that a God does not exist?
Yeah, there is one thing. If you could show me a finger bone or any bone of Jesus, I would stop believing.
How would we prove it was Jesus?
Show me
that's
show it to me and then I'll stop believing.
falsifiable.
Show it to me and I'll stop believing. That's it. That's the condition for my losing my faith.
So I appreciate
Can't
that you
show
are
you
giving
something
us
that never
something.
existed, right?
Well, yeah, James doesn't believe he exists. But I mean, it's a weird standard, because it would be like, show me the bone of Muhammad, and I will stop being, and I'll stop
Muhammad's
being
in the ground.
Muslim.
Muhammad's in the ground.
I know,
He's
but
not hard
that's
to
how
find.
I
You can
feel
find him.
about Jesus. I
Where's
think that
Jesus?
Jesus died. He
Where is he?
either got burned, he either got moved, or he got thrown in a mass grave. Those are my three leading hypotheses.
Or he was resurrected.
Oh yeah, exactly. So but which do you think makes
Between
more
one of those
sense of those
options.
four?
Well, I'll go with the people who saw him after he died. I'll say he resurrected.
Those 500?
All
Can you
500
give
of
me your
them?
name? Can you give me the name of just your favorite one? Not the apostles. Those are the given. Like, just anyone else, like, of the 500.
No, I don't know them. I didn't live during that time.
Neither
All I
do
know is
I.
that there were a lot of witnesses that saw him.
And these are the
And
people
you don't
who
have
wrote
to
the
believe
Gospels.
it.
They didn't know him
You don't
either.
have to believe it.
I
do.
I
I do believe it. That's
I
the
do and
difference
I
between-
don't, because I'm going to
You don't
hell
have
if I
to.
don't, right?
You don't have to believe it. You can go to hell.
You
don't have
can
to
burn
believe it.
forever. Do you
You
think
can-
that
you
is
don't-
mercy? Do you think that is justice?
I think that God's sacrificing his son is
Oh,
the mercy
yeah.
that you deny. And since you deny the mercy, what do you expect?
I don't find that merciful.
Well, Jesus died for your sins. All you have to do is believe. He doesn't ask you to do anything other than believe. And that's too much
So-
for you. So
That is some bad evidence. Basically, if he wanted us
understand
to
that belief
believe, he
is
would
not
talk
like a
with us.
choice. You can just
Well,
choose to believe something that you're
it's-
not, that you're
it's the litmus
convinced
test.
is not true.
It's the litmus test. If you believe or if you don't believe, it's an easy test. Either you believe or you don't.
And then
I don't know how you
once
can just arbitrarily choose to believe something that you don't believe.
It's a bad test.
It's
It
something that
is-
you cannot prove.
Thus, it's a bad test.
So
People
if you,
are burning
if you believe it, if you believe it without
forever,
proof, that's called faith.
which is a bad reason to believe in something. Like, and it's not only that, but the one moment they actually know, that's when they start burning forever. Is it forever? I don't want to straw man you. Is hell forever?
No, hell is a temporary holding place until you're judged, and then you're thrown into the lake of fire, and then in the lake of fire.
So
That's
yes,
correct.
he just calls it the lake of fire.
I was gonna say you got a little purgatory. Okay, so
No. The hell is a place in the earth. It's a physical place on the earth. You go there and you wait for your judgment. It's going to be 1,000 years of torment in hell. It will be no cakewalk, but it'll be better than the lake of fire.
So, like,
It's
okay,
like county jail versus the big house.
I
the
know,
state
but
prison.
it's so you're making layers like a Muslim. Take me through the pipeline. Like, I die, and then I go where?
Okay, so you die, and you'll find that there's a path, and it leads to one place, which is a pit, and you have no other
Brad?
course but that pit. So you go there.
Okay.
Is the only place to go is that pit.
Okay,
That's
I'm in the
right.
pit. Okay, now I'm in the pit. What happens?
You just wait.
You
wait for 1,000 years, and you're suffering while you're in the pit. But it's not going to be as bad as what it's going to be when you're in the lake of fire.
Suffering.
And the thing is, you never stop feeling the pain. It's really terrible. It's horrible to contemplate, but there it is. It's spoken of, and I believe it. You don't have to believe it.
Am I doing other things while it's on? Like my kidney hurts, but I'm still reading like time.
You'll probably get adjusted to the pain at some point where you can have a clear thought, but I don't know if that's true.
I forget which comedian said it, but it's like there can't be a hell because there's nothing that a human won't eventually fetishize. But, that's a little...
It's pretty extreme.
We are in hell, so what can you say? So I could probe this for so long. We're about to get into... someone else. But like, okay, pit, that hurts a little bit. Like, I just can't wait to tell you about how much they're gonna torture you. But I get you. Everyone loves canon.
It's horrible, and you don't have to go through it.
It's kind of like rage.
You don't have to go through it.
Like
it's your choice.
To believe on bad evidence.
Well, if you don't want to be with God, right? That's a choice. So you choose not to be with God. You say, I don't care if there's a God or not a God. I don't want to be with him no matter who he is because of the Bible. I think he's a horrible person and all this other nonsense, right? So your belief is that God is a horrible person even if he does exist. And therefore, regardless, you don't want to be with him.
I would want to know if they existed. Them being evil canonically in the Bible has nothing to do with whether I believe they exist or not.
It's hard to know that you need saving until you know that you're going to hell. So if you don't believe you're going to hell, then you don't feel that you need to be saved.
But wouldn't that be the one test? Wouldn't that be the best test? You die, you wake up, God's like, hi. And then everyone's like, oh, I believe in you.
Surprise, I'm real.
And you'd go, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I believe in you. I mean, because you're right in front of me. So, cool, I believe now. I'm a believer.
Welcome to hell. I hate you.
No Saul-like test.
By the time you're dead, it's too late. You can't change your fate.
Why?
Yeah, we know.
Because you're no longer in a flesh body and you can no longer sin.
That's how he made the rules.
So exactly. So send you to heaven because you can no longer sin.
Well, now you have to pay for the sin you committed while you were in the body, unless you're saved by Jesus. See, Jesus paid the ransom for you. So if you plead the blood of Jesus, you're free. But if you don't, then you pay for it yourself.
So after you die, you're going through this judgment. You can go to Jesus and get out.
No.
It's
too late. You're already dead.
Yeah, so he's a supervillain. He's the Saw movie. This is all just an evil thing by God, and he makes it.
You were tested during your existence on Earth, and what you did with your life. And if you don't come to Jesus during your lifetime, then you're going to face Jesus and be judged.
Exactly. He's evil.
From the point of view of a person being judged, he's evil. He's very evil. He's a monster.
Yes. Exactly. I assume Sauron. I assume Voldemort. I assume these guys all view themselves as good.
It says you should not fear the man who can kill you. You should fear the man who can not only kill you, but throw you in hell.
I mean, I could never hear a better example of a supervillain monologue. Don't just fear that I can kill you. Fear that I can kill and torture you.
It's pretty badass. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's degenerate, but I mean, it's badass for a villain, I guess. And you're a henchman, and so it makes sense that the henchman would want. No, but you thought it was pretty cool that the supervillain was torturing people. Sounds a little.
No, I don't agree with God on hell. I don't want there to be a hell, but I can't.
Then join us.
Fight him. No, I'm not going to fight God.
Why?
because I'll lose.
You at least got to try, though.
Yeah. Don't you
No,
think,
I'm going
don't
to
you think
join
that,
God.
Don't you think the devil would have known that before he decided to fight God? Don't you think he
No,
would
I
have
don't
known
think
he
he.
would have
I don't think he did know it.
And now
I
you're
don't think
just
he did
saying
know.
you're a reluctant henchman.
I don't think the
So
devil knew
you
what
think
he was
you
doing.
think you are smarter than Satan? Like this hyper intelligent being, he just did not realize that he could not defeat an omnipotent being. He thought he could win.
I have information that Lucifer did not have at the time that he fell from grace that he wishes he had now. Because in retrospect, hindsight is 2020. We can see what happened. He didn't know what was going to happen.
You are better than a supernatural, or wiser, stronger, something than the supernatural being.
No, I just told you that I have 2020 vision in hindsight, which the devil did not have. The devil cannot tell the future. The devil doesn't know what's going to happen. Future. I can tell the past because I can look at it.
You didn't know God was omnipotent?
I'm sure Satan can tell the past if he existed.
Well, it's
That's
too
not
late
your
for
claim.
him. It's too late for him. He's out of God's kingdom and he ain't getting back in.
Sure, because
That's
he's up against the
Jacob.
supervillain. But we can join together to at least a bunch of good people,
But
caring, empathetic, kind people can join together to try and bring this unrighteous beast that they call Yahweh to justice.
I mean, if Satan's kind of on the payroll, God needs him to lead people to hell so that God can torture people forever. And
in a second, we're gonna bring on. Oh shoot! I think we wasted too much time. I'm so sorry. Richard. Richard wanted to come on, and then after that we got Sinister, Ember, and davegar backstage.
We might have to call it.
Yes, well, they're gonna be easy. We'll do intro outros for everybody for them. We got about five more minutes. Christ brings a sword, and once again, I know we get spicy and we go back and forth, but then I hope you do feel like you are at least getting some of your points. And right back over to you. Christ brings a sword.
All right, what are we talking about?
Well, I mean, we're still trying. I guess fundamentally, James and I still don't believe in prophets. If you're going to say a prophet is a teacher, prophets exist in storytelling, then sure. But
you don't have to believe the Bible to see prophecy. You can look at the stars. I gave you an example there. You can also look at the Pyramid of Giza. And the Pyramid of Giza says a lot of things that are in the Bible before the Bible was even started. So that's kind of interesting, but that's one reason why you're not allowed to study the Great Pyramid of Giza, because you'll learn that there's Bible prophecy in the design.
Like
when you go into the pyramid, it's a ramp and it leads down to a pit. That should tell you something. It tells you that's what happens to you in the afterlife. You go to a pit.
We never did go past that. What happened past the pit? You get 10 years or 10,000.
No, we're talking about the pyramid now. In the pyramid, when you go down the ramp, you're in the pit. Okay, so that's hell. That represents your.
Then we are talking about hell.
Well, that's what the pyramid says too. The pyramid agrees. So I'm just looking at the pyramid.
Talks about the Christian
any building that has a pit. It talks about hell.
I do not think that it does.
Initially, the pyramid was covered in white, and you could not find the entrance to the pyramid. And they stripped all the casing stones off.
And I'm so sorry, davegar. I should have probably brought you on. I feel bad. He said he had to go. We're trying to squeeze everything we can out of Theus that we can. I still feel bad. Sending love for davegar for all the love and support that he gives us. And we'll keep on talking about the pit.
Call me shows because
we're going to overtime. We didn't think we'd get extra Theus, but here we are. And so, sending love. Also, I see James Wolfe out there, TP Seeker, and everybody. Pits. And I'm also going to send like a gigantic shout out to Beamsy once we're done the call. But keep on going because I don't see a connection between. I mean, they didn't believe in the afterlife like we did. They did have representations, just like the Jews have Sheol. But it wasn't until really the kind of borrowing from Zoroastrianism that they had a hell. And it wasn't really until Dante's Inferno that we got all this fire and brimstone.
That's true. There's not a lot of discussion of hell in the Old Testament. They don't talk about it, but that's because it's a mystery. You know, a mystery is something that is you don't even know is there until it's revealed to you, and that's what hell is. Hell is a mystery. Now it's been revealed, and people don't want to believe it.
I would say we don't believe it because the carrot and the stick. We don't believe in a God, and so we don't believe a God.
It seems like if it was real, like God would have mentioned this at the beginning. Like it seems rather important to, for him to just neglect to mention until like 3/4 of the way through the whole thing. But
my personal belief is that the Jews knew about it. Everybody knew about it because there was the Book of Enoch at the time, and the Book of Enoch, if you've read that, it talks about hell quite extensively, but where the Bible does not. And then in the New Testament, Jesus talks about hell quite a bit. He describes the suffering of a man. When did the
Jews stop believing in it? Because they don't really have a unified belief in a hell.
Well, if Jesus says there's a hell, you probably should listen to Jesus.
Yeah, but you said the Jews, they knew about it, but then most of them don't really even believe in it.
Well, that's their problem.
Oh.
And okay, and send in love, davegar. It is completely fine. I'm so sorry, my BT dubs, that we even, we're playing a juggling game and we love you so much. So we're sending love out into the internet sphere. I think we're about to start wrapping up though, because we still have Sinister and Ember that we want to give at least 10 minutes each of what they want to say. And then yeah, okay, Christ brings the sword. Keep on coming on because we want to have more conversations. We'll have more back and forth or even maybe subjects that we agree on. And so we have been calling us skeptical on can a prophet exist? And what are your final thoughts?
Well, like I said, the Bible prophecies are all there. We don't need prophets anymore. You've got a book. You can reference it and believe it or not for yourself. Same thing as a prophet. A lot of people heard the prophet. They didn't believe it. In fact, they killed them mostly. And the same thing with the word of God. A lot of people just deny it, and that's that. And you're on your own at that point. Good luck with the rest of your life. And then you'll meet God at the end, but there's no way you're going to avoid it. You're going to meet God, and you're going to face your punishment if you have no other way out. And there's only one way out, and that is faith. Now, going back to the pyramid, there is a way out, but you can't see it. It's called the well. It's behind the wall, and that well will lead up to the king's chamber, and that's your path out. But you got to know where it is. You got to have faith that it's there. It's in the pyramid, and so the pyramid is talking about the Holy Spirit as well. You're not allowed to go in there and study it, but it's all there. You can't deny the pyramid is there. And you can't deny those passages are there, but your interpretation of what they mean, that's up to you.
Thank you so very much. Christ brings the sword. It was lovely having you on, and keep on coming on.
Right on. Thanks for having me and not censoring me. That's a rare thing. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And all right.
Thanks.
We are about to bring on the Sinister Porpoise and then Ember, but I do want to give out like the biggest shout out ever. We missed it among all the fun, but Beamsy bought 10 Twitch subscribers, bought subscribership for people that were just hanging out in the Twitchosphere. And if you want that kind of amazing treatment, that means you have to go down to our Twitch, which I am now going to be linking and removing from the StreamYard because I think this is going to be the last two people. Thus, you should head over to our twitch.tv/Amy Newman Skeptic. And thank you so very much. Thank you, Beamsy, for those 5 subscriberships. I want to do more stuff on the Twitchosphere. It's always going to have a skeptic bent, even if I end up doing like 3D modeling. There's going to be a StreamYard link probably attached in chat so you can argue with me while I 3D model, just in case. Do like a good mix. And I'll be doing Maya, if anyone is interested in that. I am also a Maya fangirl. I like ZBrush. Blender is pretty good too. It's free. Though Maya is free now if you have a student email. That's the only reason I have it since I've turned so white hat. Oy vey, James. I complain about breaking the law and then I go follow it. But I want to support artists and all this other stuff, the creators and everything. We're gonna bring people on. Let's get Sinister on. These are our last 2. Exactly. The true creators out there. Adobe. Well, we're going to get the Sinister Purpose.
Mark Reid's going to have his 1,000 subscriber celebration in 30 minutes, yeah.
Hells yeah. All right, we really are on a clock now. Because you all should be
just hit 777. He blew past that.
Blew right past it.
Yeah.
Mark Reid Atheism right at the bottom. Got him monetized.
Another week he'll be blown by us.
Hey, I honestly, like I said about being the Grandma Tranny thing, I could not be more proud. I'm sending love to
He's a great guy. Great channel.
Atheist Jr. I am sending love to Mark Reid. I am sending love to any other skeptic, especially agnostic channel. We don't schism. We don't have holy wars. We're not at competition for each other, except for like lulls and bants, and to talk about it while we drink beer because we can, because our religion doesn't ban that because we don't have religions.
I emptied mine while the preacher was none left.
That's also sending love to MDD out there. MDD is going on. We try and not cross streams. That's why we're also trying to sending love to James Coons, who is amazing. Sending love to Kaz and Sideshow and all the mods over there. Hannah and Surgeon. And what's up, Pete?
On there.
That's what I think I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be writing an email asking. Maybe I might have to think of some ideas, brainstorm. But I'd like to do more debates. I'd like to go on standings. You can't go on EA Chuck E. Cheese anymore, but we'll find places.
Is the channel shut down?
He will not. I don't think he'll do anything. I think that is the end. You don't have to go home. But you can't stay here.
In a month.
Indeed.
He's got a month.
James, it's about profits. You can't help it. They're just so godly.
Holy.
Just speaks to you. Holy. As in you
Very
often
holy.
find them at glory holes.
Well,
Oh, really? I just see that now, Randolph. Wow. I'll check by. Who wants to be in Debate Me, brah? Well, then, sold. We James W. myself will set that up. Sending love to Randolph and his Fortnite streams, which I'm happily a panel of. And you should all go at thetheisthelpline.com, which as soon as he gets it in there, I'm going to already assume he is. I'll pin it However, let's get Sinister Porpoise up for her 10 minutes. See science. I can see you. Well. We are talking prophethood. Can a prophet exist? I'm calling us skeptical. What is up, the Sinister Porpoise? Lovely to have you. We are calling us skeptical, and can a prophet exist? And we are asking you, what are your thoughts?
Well, I actually wanted to speak to Mr. Not sure it was a Mr., but I think it was a Mr. Christ is the sword or something like that.
Indeed.
And he said something. Hi, Athena. Do you have something to say, Athena?
Cats always say, which is hi.
Speaks with her tail.
He brought up astronomy, and that you can see things in the stars if you look at them. And I'd like to say that is true. If you look out at Orion with binoculars, if you look in, like, I believe it's the sword and the shoulder, you can see two Messier objects. But they do not tell you anything about what's going to happen in your life. They tell you something about the universe. And I wanted to know what he thought we could see in software that we can't see with a telescope. You do realize when we create software, we're modeling real world things usually, right? Well, he's not here, so.
That was this celestial event that happened in 2017. We did a video about it where they said, oh, these stars were aligned just this way in the sky. But it was actually, like in our part of the world, it was only during the daytime, which you can't see the stars during the daytime anyway. So you could only see it if you pulled up like a computer program that would tell you where the stars were, So if it was daytime and the sun suddenly went dark, then that's what you would have seen.
Well, it's certainly programs I wouldn't write anytime in the near future, but then again, what I have to write in the near future is apparently some version of Wordle.
Yeah, but you're an actual creator, and we can prove you exist, and so you are a little bit different than a god.
Well, that's because real creators use Python, not magic.
Indeed, they do. If you believe in Python in a young girl's heart, I'm pretty sure that's how that goes.
Don't say that, Amy, or Bob Larson will try to excise Python from you. Python is one of the demons he excises out of people sometimes.
Well,
really does?
The demon named Python.
A little known fact, Eve's sin was not actually eating the apple. It was writing her first Hello World program.
Hello, my name is Eve.
Anyway, not davegar. Christ and the Sword. Sometime I would like to talk to you more about what seems to be your interesting ideas about astronomy. But sadly, that did not seem to be the case tonight.
I think when you're talking about the constellations and you attach prophetic meaning to it, I think that does cross over into astrology more than astronomy.
I mean, he was saying astrology type of arguments, and then
closer
being
to
a
astrology
little
than
bit
astronomy.
Than astronomy, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we would call it New Age, which is apparently the devil.
Well, I
can't call it that.
From an astronomy standpoint, Jupiter has nothing to do with that constellation. The stars are all that hundreds, thousands, or millions of light years away from each other.
Well,
it's just the way it appears from Earth.
It was a little bit of a joke too, but because I'm pretty sure that I want to make sure because there are two different fields here that are very similar, but they do different things. I'm astrobiologist and xenobiologist.
Oh, yes.
One sees if stars can... And I think it's astrobiologist. No astrobiologist is going to tell you Jupiter is pregnant.
You need You're on mute, Amy.
Oh, I was gonna say I was this close to going to Walgreens and buying a pregnancy test. I was like, which planet
Jupiter
now?
or an astro obstetrician.
Exactly.
To care for a pregnant planet.
Jupiter's got to spread their legs. Something's coming out.
Was Saturn?
That's true. We should have went for Uranus. That would have made way more contact, right?
So that's the baby that Amy can actually deliver.
I was gonna say, keep on trying. Keep on trying.
And right now,
much to the chagrin of Jamie, who, once again, I just have to point out how amazing it is that just you existing and being part of the community just triggers them. It really just, yeah.
And right now, the only prophet I'm aware of, because there are always some people out there who call themselves prophet, but the only one who officially holds that title is President Russell M. Nelson of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Because the head of the church is always...
It's a prophet?
A prophet.
Does he make profit?
Yeah.
Well, after Brigham Young, the church really didn't want to make a lot of prophecies, given how often Brigham Young was wrong.
They were wrong. Yeah. The track record was so bad. They decided to stop playing that game.
And as bad as the prophecies are, the Mormons still have one more prophecy right than the Jehovah's Witnesses. Because Joseph
you can tell, like, when a church is, like, when they're going off the deep end, like, there's different, like, levels of religious cult fanaticism. I remember I told you guys, I used to go and troll Westboro Baptist Church. Like, I would send questions, like, on their thing, just random stupid questions with stupid names just to see if they would, like, respond to the names and whatnot. And then when I saw they start identifying themselves as prophets and prophetesses, I said, okay, they have, like, transcended the nut farm, and they are just going, like, full blown, like, batshit crazy now. They're starting to call themselves prophets.
And Sinister, I hate to do a speed run, but we are going to. I am eventually going to have my version of a movie night. We're watching Better Call Saul. And Mark has his 1,000 subscriber party I want everyone to be able to go to. And so, Sinister, what I want to ask you, thank you for coming on. Next time,
Kimbo probably do a live stream too.
Oh, my. I should have remembered that you should have wanted to talk with him. I kind of got to remember. I should ask next time.
This show is hard.
But we're learning. I feel like each episode it gets a little bit better. But we have been calling us skeptical on Can a Prophet Exist? And Sinister, what are your final thoughts?
I think for one of your movie nights, you should watch a Christian series that starts with a thief in the night. No, the Temple of Giza did not mention anything about Christians. Christianity did not exist when the temple was built. That was a post hoc rationalization.
Of course it did. No, the Jews built it and they knew the Messiah was coming, so because they were enslaved, so the Jews encoded it into the pyramid because any building with a pit is a prophecy of hell.
Basically. It makes sense when you think about it.
I haven't watched Spirit Science in a while, but I did hear that Jews were from space at one point and fought a war with Martians.
We're Jews from space. Man, I'm pretty sure that's a little bit different. Anyway,
regardless of our differences, be excellent to each other.
Don't vote for Ron
DeSantis, and so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Thank you so very much, Sinister. Lovely having you on, as always. And okay, we're rolling this time from one to another because we got boop-a-doo. What is up, Ember? Lovely to have you on. We are skeptic and we are calling us skeptical. We are skeptic and ranting on Can a Prophet Exist? And what are your thoughts?
All right. Well, I'm glad to finally catch you guys. I love all the random stuff you do. I was thinking about, does a prophet necessarily require a god? Because we're all atheists here, and probably most of the audience. But could you have a prophet who's secular? Like, I'm thinking of like the Carl Jung collective unconscious kind of thing. If somebody's more in tune with that, maybe they could kind of read the vibes of what's going on or what might be going down soon.
I could understand. I think the theme of some of the secular panelists that we've had on tonight is there could be ways that we could accept prophethood without supernatural elements. I think that once you get into that, you lose the special sauce, for lack of a better word. We're not talking about the supernatural, so they're not doing all sorts of paranormal claims. I mean, I think that you could have teachers. I think that you can have stewards, people who I like Carl Jung for his archetypes because I use them in storytelling. I don't know how well like they accurately map out like everyone is either you are, you know, the anti-hero or the relatable one, or I'm trying to think of all the boy next door. There we go. The boy next door or things like that. I'm sure we're a little bit more complex and we overlap, but I think there's use in understanding Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Like to me, I see the hero's journey in every story ever. I can predict when the tests are going to come and trials. I can tell you when they're going to add in a new character directly in the center. It always happens. I can tell you when the darkest time of the soul, quote unquote, is in the resurrection. And then, you know, you better not count the villain out because the villain's supposed to lose here so that they come back right over here. It happens at almost every movie that I watch. So there are usefulness in a lot of these terms metaphorically, and when we're having conversation, it's when they become literal that it becomes a horror show and just silly.
Oh yeah, a lot of them, like Edward Casey, for example, you end up with kind of a con man vibe going on. But I wonder if all the historical prophets weren't actually getting their mojo from more of a kind of psychic kind of thing, and then they just went with whatever religion was popular at the time as a way to get people to back them, like the oracles at Delphi.
When you mean psychic, do you mean more of a zeitgeist, maybe? Like they were just very in tune with the people and the culture of the day?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to rule out the possibility of like getting a flow of time or whatever, but I've never seen any evidence for it.
Who, I guess theoretically it's not impossible. We just don't have any thing to base that off of, how that would work or whatever.
Yeah.
I just separate out psychic. If you mean psychic as in like they can predict people's minds, which I'm not saying you are, I'm against those type of psychics because I feel James Randi. If I have Shannon Q on one shoulder, I have James Randi on the other, and always trying to detect, can we empirically test it? If you mean, can they tap into what is really going on in society of the day and the culture, what really moves and promotes people, I can understand that, if that makes sense. That's how I'd split that.
I think he's talking about literally people who could see a different flow of time, like theories of time. The future already exists in some views of time, so could they maybe be able to perceive something as far as that goes?
That's an interesting possibility. You know, Einstein posed the idea that the past and future exist in the same time as the present, so maybe you could like peek around the corner. But I was thinking more along the lines of a clairvoyant kind of thing. Like, we've all had moments in our lives where we get this like burst of intuition, I should go right instead of left, and sometimes they don't work out, but sometimes they do. And I'm sure there's a selection bias. Like, we notice the times it works out and we're like, ooh, fate directed me. But maybe there's something to it.
I'm open to the possibility. I am I become a little bit deterministic though. I also think that you can move forward in time, and it's complicated to move backwards, if that makes sense. So we're always moving forward, but not only can we move forward, hypothetically, we could speed that process up depending on gravity, where you are. But even then, it would still be only going in one direction.
Sure,
like
sure.
the band.
Yeah, we're literally time traveling right now. It just happens to be the rate is 1 second per second.
Sure. And I will say, in a minute or two, as much as we could go out of this, we're actually going to end the stream.
Yes. Places to go.
Yes. Well, places to go. And then I want to promote. I've tried and very much fit this time slot. Even though Modern Day Debate is not a atheist channel. I mean, technically James Coons is a Christian. He's part of our community. So I don't like to, they're live right now. And then Mark is going to be live. And so I want to
be live momentarily.
hand the torch to the other content creators as it will. But Ember, it's been long. Thank you actually for sticking around, because some of the skeptics and everyone you guys have been waiting a while. And so I feel like it was a pleasure and honor just for you to do so. But I want to hand it right back over to you before we finish out. We are calling us skeptical. We have been asking, can a prophet exist? And what are your final thoughts?
I'd have to say that there isn't enough evidence to really say for sure there is such a thing. We might have to redefine what a prophet is. I mean, a technical definition, like Porpoise mentioned, there is somebody with the title of prophet right now, so we have to accept that one does technically exist. But as far as the whole mystical insight thing, I'm just not seeing it.
All right, there we go. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so very much, Ember.
Yeah,
and with that, you are our last guest for tonight's Call Us Skeptical. Can a prophet exist? And now the two pilots are going to attempt to land the plane. Thank you so very much, Ember.
Sure.
Crash land.
Yeah.
Basically, there's so many dark jokes in my head, and all of them deal with Islam. It's your fault, Islam. Rail that in. We have to deal with landing plane jokes.
It's their fault.
But don't be prejudiced to Muslims. We also have to say that because or Jews or Christians. But yes, religion. Do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Randolph.
Thanks, Randolph.
And
tomorrow you guys have your stream, right?
Maybe that was that last night. Was that
last week? Oh no, it probably was last week.
I think that was yes. We get off a week. And all right. We are sending love. Speaking of OIC2, we are a metabolic phenomena, but there is no privileged present time frame in physical reality. And I'm interested in that. It sounds like the argument between, I believe, A and B time theory of time, which I'm trying to remember if A is the one in which they think time.
I don't remember.
Is it all? And B is like the classic, how we see it. I'm open-minded. Boo-boo. Speaking of darkness, my own friend. A photon checks into a hotel. The bellhop asks, "Can I help you with your luggage?" It replies, "I don't have any. I'm traveling light." Hashtag puns. That's right. Thank you so very much, Randolph. And our final closing. I'm going to be cleaning this up and doing all sorts of stuff. If you are a Patreon, a channel member, Twitch subscriber, take a look for our Call Us Skeptical. Contact us in chat or in email or Discord or any way that you do, and we will help you make a show. we'll just listen and act as guests. We'll just ask questions. We'll act as the audience, and we'll learn expertise or knowledge that you're giving us. But if you would like your own show produced, your own channel launched, promoted, or monetized, is help in monetization, because you can't actually buy monetization. You need to build a community. There's your free tip.
Well, don't tell Kent that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or any alcohol.
$2,000 to buy our subscribers back.
Indeed. And now he's out on Rubble, whatever the hell it's called. Rumble? BitChute? Yeah, exactly. But I also have a Fiverr. Send them love out there. You can go on, and I, with Gizmo, will produce you. And with that, James, is there anything else? Any other? We're going to be doing some shows.
Guys. We'll be back in the week. Go enjoy Mark Reid's party.
That's right.
Yeah.
We are all I have to spend family night, so I'll say hi and just send a thing. But we should all be heading over there to youtube.com/MarkReidAtheism. Family night, by the way, another example. I was talking about that on the other episode last night. There's no reason. No one is putting a gun to our heads and, my family, and making us watch movies. It is that we create a tradition, and it's just kind of nice. We all kind of get together, and it's just a thing to do. But I hope you all had a fantastic time on this episode of Call Us Skeptical.
Definitely.
Can a prophet exist? Where we opened up the internet phone lines to see why anyone would think a prophet, a middleman for God, could indeed exist for a good profiting time all over the place. I'm telling you, prophet's profit, James. However, I do want to thank all of you out there. Hold on, gears are turning. The gears are turning. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to... Oh, no, I skipped. I did skip. It is indeed. I do want to thank my co-host, James W. That is right. Ding! Along with our guest, Rubiks, Thomas Bear, the Preacher, Christ Brings a Sword, the Sinister Porpoise, and Ember. Woo! Boom, 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 boom. Thank you, our lovely panel, along with all of the lovely people in chat, on Twitch, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you are, our awesome mods who really do keep this stream so great. Sending love to all of you. And of course, our lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, we hope that you do. It does help us to like. It tells the algorithm, hey, this is some good content. And if you follow on the Twitchosphere or subscribe, well, that actually says not only do you like it, but when you hit that bell icon to all, it says, hey, YouTube, I want this in my feed. I want to see the premieres, join the live stream. Speaking of premieres, feel free. We're about to be doing a whole bunch more clips, shorts. As the weather gets better, I'll be going back out for some epistemological fun. All the people, the Randolph Richardson, woohoo! What's up, UC Love, Sea Science, Goth, Mr. Green, Doorknob Head, Ember, Tim, Marina. Oh, yeah. If I see you, I'll show you up there. But that is the benefit, Doorknob Head, Big Bad Mama, of joining us on the live stream, as I get to say love to you all. Or, hey, why not leave a comment once the video's done? You can also leave a super thanks, which is like a super chat, a comment, sending love and support to the show. And if it is funny or something that you think we should, we can also read them back on the next episode. After the show, the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server opens up, the link of which is in the description below, along with all of our fantastic Twitch subscribers, channel members with our evolving badge system right down below. It triggers creationists. Just something actually evolves with time. And the best way to help us, we're trying to gain, it helps get support right to us as well as getting you some unique perks, is by heading down to our Patreon and becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. And we will see you all. I am Amy Newman, and we will see you. I wonder how long was I just muted for a little bit?
Not long.
Not long. Okay.
No, we were hearing you.
Good. Okay. Well, I hope you all have a lovely night, a lovely day. Go check out Mark Reid Atheism. He's celebrating. And I'll see you all on the next episode of Skeptic.
We'll see you next time, guys. Good night.
Z.